To carry up the middle. It's all run for the Niners on this drive, and he trucks a defender at the 10, and along the right numbers, just gallops into the end zone for a touchdown. From the 3-yard line for 16 to play in the fourth. Niners already up by 10. Shotgun snap for Mac Jones. Inside handoff McCaffrey with a nose for the goal line. Is in for the 49ers touchdown.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza. Only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners! Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Need cash fast? Tap into the value of your home with a home equity line of credit from Valley Strong Credit Union. Whether it's for home improvements, debt consolidation, or that dream vacation, you can get your cash offer in minutes. That's right, just minutes to unlock the power of your home's equity with no hard credit pull to see how much cash you can get. No stress, no waiting. Just smart, local banking that puts you first. Grow your possibilities with Valley Strong Credit Union. Visit valleystrong.com to get started today.
Gotta do is put a drink.
Eric Church is back and bringing his unforgettable live show to Sacramento. Eric Church Free the Machine Tour with special guest Charles Wesley Godwin. Golden One Center, November 13th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss. Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Golden One Center, November 13th. Get tickets now. For more, visit ericchurch.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. On a Wednesday, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And that's right. It's Warriors Day. The day we've been waiting for. The day we've been fiending for. The day we've been dreaming for. But with all that being said, it is being taken away from us in the way that you maybe would have liked. Or maybe there's some people out there that say, hey, you got to be the best, you got to beat the best. Some people would just say, I just want wins, Allen. I just want wins. And if you are the type of person that just wants wins, this is a better look for you as Draymond Green, because it's in his contract that he will not play if Steph Curry doesn't play. Draymond Green, we will not be seeing Draymond Green, or we're not sure if we're going to see Draymond Green or not. We definitely won't be seeing Steph Curry. So this thing
honestly, I'm booing myself.
This thing could flip on its head quite quickly. And once again, the Sacramento Kings have an opportunity to take advantage of a gift from the basketball gods. Okay? That is what it is. This is from Anthony Slater. Golden State Warriors wing Jimmy Butler left Tuesday night's win over the Phoenix Suns with lower back soreness, an issue that emerged in the aftermath of the team's Saturday night loss in Indianapolis. Warriors coach Steve Kerr deemed Butler questionable for Wednesday night's game in Sacramento, but sources told ESPN that Butler is expected to miss the contest. Steph Curry will also be sidelined against the Kings, and because those guys aren't playing, Draymond Green is considered iffy. Of course, Anthony Slater didn't say that. I did. And I mean, it's not going to get better than this, but also how scary is this, right? When it comes to your coworker, your buddy, that random Warriors fan, If these three guys don't play and the Kings lose, oh my goodness, we will not hear the end of it. This is a very scary proposition. As much as I should be happy, I am afraid. I am worried. I don't know if I want this. One of these guys got to play. Draymond, earn your paycheck, big dog. You got to play. One of them has to play. Because if the Kings lose to the Warriors like this, it's a lose-lose scenario. Because if you win, nobody played. If you lose, then that is just embarrassing. And you know the who's who, and I'm not talking about celebrities per se, you know the who's who of the organization will be in the building. Even if Steph ain't going to be there, the who's who of the Kings organization will be in that building. If you're going to the game, there will probably be some random NFL player or some random soccer player. This is a big night. Or 50 Cent. This is a big night. Warriors night is a big night out here in Sacramento. And they make sure it's a big night. First time with Russ. You cannot lose this one. Now, on the other hand, like I said, this is a gift. This is a gift from the basketball gods. Whether Draymond plays or not, no Steph, no Jimmy. And we just saw this with the Blazers and the Lakers, who they lost to Rui Hachimura and DeAndre Ayton and what was it, Nick Jones or whoever his name was. They got 20 piece by all three of them, and they lost. So it's possible. This is scary, y'all. This is scary. It's good, but it is scary. Steph Curry out. Jimmy Butler probably out. Draymond Green, quote, iffy. Okay, that's from Anthony Slater. This is scary. All right? Precious Achiuwa, hopefully he scares the opponents as he is officially in Sacramento. He's in the building as we say goodbye to Isaac Jones. I got to get my extra crispy hot honey wings in honor of Isaac Jones. We're going to bring him in. Maybe Friday's that day, Kyle. Maybe Friday's that day. We wait for next payday. Well, one of these next paydays, we'll bring in the hot honey wings.
So here's the thing. He's on waivers now, so they've got 48 hours to claim. So at some point in the next 2 days, he might get claimed by another team.
And if he doesn't, right, we have to wait. If he ends up back in Sacramento, then we don't want to waste the wings, right? We won't eat the wings until he's officially with another squad.
Yeah, and I guess in theory, if every single team in the league decides he's not worth a non-guaranteed NBA contract, he could...
Well, it's not that simple, Kyle. It's not that simple, all right?
Sure.
The second apron. The second apron, it messes up everything. It changes everything.
The non-guaranteed deal. Anyways, if every team in the league decides not to pick him up, then in theory, he could come back to Stockton. Mm-hmm. But if I were him, I've already done that. I've won G League Finals MVP. Why am I going back to Stockton? I'll go somewhere else and see if I've got a better chance with that team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there would be quote-unquote... It's funny how things turn from... This team gave me an opportunity to, quote-unquote, bad blood. I don't know that there would be bad blood with Isaac Jones and the Kings. It's more so, is there a better opportunity out there for you? I think that's the bigger reason to not come back to Sacramento. You needed somebody that does what I do, and you skipped over me, right? There was a need there, and you already told me no. Now I'm going to go somewhere else where maybe they won't skip over me if there is a need. So it's not as much as bad blood as you told me what you think about me. You signed me to this contract, and clearly what I did was not up to snuff for you. So I'm going to go see what else is out there. That's how I would look at it.
It's more so spreading your wings and trying something else, right?
Yes.
Like you've accomplished everything you can in Stockton. If your goal is to be, you've been on an NBA roster here. Are you going to go through that whole process again just to fight for another NBA roster spot?
And and there could be somebody else that pops up, right? I mean, Precious Achiuwa, again, they kind of told you what they thought because Precious Achiuwa wasn't playing, right? They got to see you all camp. They got to see you for a long period of time, and they decided we're going to take a chance on somebody who's been on their couch. So they kind of told Isaac Jones what they think about him.
Yeah, so I will save the hot honey wings until it's official because I have a feeling even if he doesn't get picked up on waivers, I would be pretty surprised if he came back to Stockton.
It's a good point. And I like mine extra crispy. All right. So Precious Achiuwa is in. Isaac Jones is out. Kyle, we don't have confirmation yet if Precious would play tonight. Do we have that? I haven't seen anything.
I have not seen anything.
Yeah.
Well, he's not on any injury report, so I guess it's just whether they activate him or not.
Well, you would think, I'm sure on his Instagram he's been working out, but if Russ, who is in crazy shape,
and shooting on yachts.
Yeah, and he's on yachts. I didn't see Precious Achiuwa on any yachts. You would think, is this a situation where maybe he doesn't play because of the getting his running and his stamina right a little bit, getting that back up to snuff? I could see that.
Yeah, and also like Dylan Cardwell is inactive tonight because of the two-way contract thing. They're probably not going to have Dylan Cardwell this weekend because Stockton is playing in Stockton for 2 games. So I'd say he's definitely going to play Friday, but tonight we'll see if it was too quick of a turnaround time.
And I think the other part of it is, too, when you look at who's not playing, I know these aren't bigs, but when you look at who's not playing, Jimmy most likely out, Steph Curry out. Do you need to force the issue with Precious Achiuwa? Maybe they feel like it's a good opportunity to get his feet wet against a understaffed Warriors team. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we have a new quota. Our quota used to be 1 Kuminga segment a day. And that quota is out, at least for now. And speaking of, that is the lock of the century when it comes to prop talk. Jonathan Kuminga, no Steph, no Jimmy Butler. And look, the apps are going to be smart. He's probably going to be set at about, 26 points, maybe even more than that. I'd still take it.
His agent's in the building.
The agent's in the building. Now, let me say this, and I'm not trying to start any rumors or anything like that, but agent in the building, who did the Warriors just play? And I know he's been in the building prior to, don't get me wrong, but who did the Warriors just play? The Phoenix Suns. Who do they play tonight? The Sacramento Kings. Do we think that is a coincidence? Because I'm not sure. Now, he has been to some other games, but the 2 teams that were the most interested in Jonathan Kuminga, maybe this is his Rich Paul thing. I'm just going to be in the – this is the night, folks, okay? Jonathan Kuminga might take 40 shots tonight. 40 shots, all right? We'll talk about the matchups as well, but with no Steph and most likely no Jimmy Butler, it's the Jonathan Kuminga show, and all eyes are going to be on him, and he is going to prove to everyone. I know the arguments and the reports went back and forth. He's going to prove y'all should have gave up those protections. I know it was reported it was more than the protections, but if I'm Jonathan Kuminga, spiritually, that's what I'm saying. Y'all should have given up the protections. And I do wonder, Kyle, I don't think this is by design at all, but it is, and I know the Warriors are old and they're AARP, but it is a bit curious that it's going to be the Jonathan Kuminga show in Sacramento. No, and I know Jimmy has had this backstory. They're all sore. They're all old. They got their walkers and their canes, and it's funny because they're a year older than me. But it is kind of curious. I'm not saying there's something, tinfoil hat going on, but don't you find it a bit interesting? Just a little bit?
It's kind of poetic in a way, right? Because we talked about the whole Kuminga watch. Like, they're going to need Kuminga for the 30 games Jimmy and Steph are going to miss.
That's right, and here's one of them.
Well, I think this is the first one Jimmy and Steph are both going to miss this year. I think they've missed one individually, but this is the first one they're both skipping together, which means Draymond Green is skipping.
What am I going to do? Draymond, what am I going to do out there with Quentin Post? What am I doing?
Draymond doesn't play when Steph doesn't play. By the way, I know we joke about this. There's literally data that says Draymond Green sits when Steph doesn't play. There's data that proves Draymond has a higher percentage of missed games when Steph is out as just the general pool. So if Steph and Jimmy are both out and Draymond's like, I'm good, man, you got this. Yeah. I mean, this is going to happen 10 to 20 times this year. I think they're going to have this same situation. I feel pretty comfortable saying that.
Well, and it's funny that you say that, and it's just going to be Al Horford and a bunch of 25-year-olds. But
he didn't play yesterday.
No, he didn't, but he is supposed to play tonight. It's funny you say that, Kyle, because we've talked about it before based on how these teams are built. Obviously, the Thunder are going for gold, and we're going to talk about the Thunder because as we go around the league, because I feel much better about that Thunder game. I watched, and by the way, it was that NBC game on Tuesday. The intro in the Clippers arena at the Intuit Dome was insane. I'm sitting there with my wife and the toddler, and my wife asked me, "What are you watching? What is this theatrical performance?" It's just the intros. It's just the intros. I haven't been able to get down there, but I know it's a heck of a time. James Harden started out on fire, and obviously Chet did play, and the Clippers did not have Kawhi. But just the way the Thunder went about their business, they just don't blink. They do not care. They don't blink, and they win again. So I watched a good bit of that game, and it did make me feel better about what the Kings attempted to do in OKC, even though Chet didn't play. So we'll discuss that as well. But as far as the Warriors are concerned, them losing those games early to that really bad Pacers team, that stuff burns them more than these other contenders because they know how much they're built on front-loading their wins. So for them to lose, who was it? They lost to the Pacers and they lost to the Bucks without Giannis. That really burns them because, and I saw John Dickinson tweet about this, because that is where they have to butter their bread. Nights like tonight, they know are going to happen because they're old. But those other nights, they can't afford to happen. So they just got to pray that Jonathan Kuminga goes off for 40 and that the Kings do what the Kings typically do, because these games are kind of baked into their season. You can't afford to lose those Pacer games with a bunch of G-Leaguers and that Giannis game with no Giannis as they took on the Bucks and got Ryan Rollins. You can't have that happen. So plenty of Kings-Warriors talk today. If you're obviously Kings fans, you're always calling in 916-339-1140. Any double agents that have the heart, that have the soul, and call in to these Kings airwaves. You got something to say about the Kings taking on your Warriors? All right, we'll listen. I don't think you will. I don't think any of the double agents will come popping up. They will tomorrow if the Kings lose to a team with no Jimmy and no Steph. But I don't think you're going to say anything now. Ja Morant. So Sam Amick, you know we love a Sam Amick heater, and a Sam Amick heater came out pretty recently, and it was laying out who may be interested in Ja Morant. We also have some sound from Mark Spears, as he has already talked to a couple execs and a couple coaches. What that price tag, it's funny, when you hear Mark Spears, you think the price tag is going to be dropping. When you read Sam Amick's article, you think, okay, the price tag might be raising as well, or rising as well, because there are going to be a couple teams interested. So we will break down all of that for you, whether or not, and this is what everybody wants to chime in on, whether or not Kings-Warriors is still a rivalry. The fact that they are sitting all their guys, I'll tell you this much right now. I find it downright disrespectful. It's almost, Kyle, it's almost like some crumbs. Here you go, Kings. We know you can't beat anybody, and we actually think we might be able to get you with our B team. So, Steph, you sit. I know they're all banged up. Don't get me wrong. Steph, you sit. Jimmy, you sit. I know he left the game early, but the Suns aren't good either. Jimmy, you sit. They might not even play Draymond, because you know what? It's Sacramento. They don't got De'Aaron. Domantas Sabonis in a rib contusion that he's dealing with, but they don't got De'Aaron. You know there's still a bit of venom there. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't know if it's venom or just awkwardness, because I remember being in the pre-game presser with Doug, and there were a couple questions. Hey, these last couple years with the Warriors, there's been a little bit of, yeah, this is a little rivalry, but we got that connection. De'Aaron Fox, I guess he's still signed to Steph Curry's subset of Under Armour shoes. And you got Mike Brown, and there's this almost a frenemy type deal. We all have a cousin or a friend who's a Warriors fan, and Doug wasn't going for that. And the way that Steve Kerr talked about how the Kings organization handled the Mike Brown situation, there's only one way for Doug to take that, and that's not great.
No class, no balls.
So there is, I think it helps the rivalry, to be honest with you. I think it was a little weirdly buddy-buddy towards the end, because De'Aaron, I want to beat Steph in Steph's shoes. I still found that a bit bizarre, but De'Aaron's in the Riverwalk now, and he can make black and silver shoes, all fine and good. Everything, all the connections that the Warriors and the Kings had, they've been gone. Now we can just get down to business. Now we can smell what they ate for breakfast. Now there's no, I guess Leandro Barbosa's still there. But now there's no, we got some friends over there. This is where it gets gritty. And for the Warriors to say, we don't need Steph, we don't need Jimmy, hell, we don't even need Draymond's backpack 3. Draymond, why don't you go do a podcast and talk some more trash to KD? We don't need you today. You know why?
It's actually a fact.
You know why? Because we got the Kings. We can take a break. Now, look, obviously the Kings, like I said, the Warriors, they have to bake in these days. But this is what I'm saying if I'm Doug Christie. This is what I'm saying in that locker room. They don't need Steph tonight. They said Brandon Podziemski gonna be busting you know what. He said he could be the white Shohei. Okay? He said he could be the white Shohei. He said, I'm gonna take that torch from Steph. And it starts tonight against those bums up the 5? Up 5 north or 880 north, whatever, 80 east.
Yeah, 80 east. You don't
80 east.
5 takes you to Portland.
You can get there. You'll stop. You can take it off. You can get there somehow.
I'm like the 5
don't
gets you to
start
stop.
with me, Kyle. People don't forget, all right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Speaking of things we don't forget, talking about the Warriors.
What? What?
Nah, that's fine.
No. What? I'm here.
I mean, who's your favorite player for however many years?
Who's my favorite what?
Your favorite player?
Favorite player?
Your favorite player in the NBA?
I don't have a child.
I mean,
I'm not a child.
Just think, Steph, enough.
I don't have a child. Favorite player. When I became a man, I put away childish things. I don't have a favorite player.
When you became a man,
besides Jackson Smith and Jigba.
When you became a man in 2022.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, you get me on that one. All right. So it's disrespectful. That's what I'm saying if I'm Doug. You got to smell their breakfast. And Kings fans all around the globe will get clowned if they lose this. I don't care if Draymond plays.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
I don't care if Draymond plays or not.
Okay, let me throw this at you right now because last night they won with 6 different players not named Steph Curry scoring in double figures. And by the way, one of those was not Brandon Podziemski. I guess 5, not including Steph. But which would hurt more for Kings fans? Would it be Kuminga going berserk tonight or Buddy Hield going berserk tonight?
Oh, man, it's Buddy.
So Buddy would suck more?
I mean, from my perspective, in 916-339-1140, you let me know. But Kuminga, it never got to the finish line, depending on who you ask. But it never got that close to the finish line. It's always going to be Buddy. I mean, Buddy said some crazy things about Sacramento.
Yeah, Buddy's kind of a weird anti-hero in a way in Sacramento, but the Kuminga thing is so fresh.
He's just a villain.
Whatever.
He's a villain.
I mean, he had the buzzer beater, he had his moments in Sacramento. But I'm just saying, yeah, he would probably hurt more if he came back to Sacramento and had a 40. If he had an Austin Reeves 50 piece and they beat the Kings.
No. See, we can't even. Yeah, and Podziemski would be annoying.
Podziemski, I just don't think Podziemski can do it.
Well, he had 23 or something a couple games ago. But yeah, Podziemski would just be annoying on principle.
I just don't think Podziemski can score 40 points.
But I'm telling you, there's 2 locks, and they're from the same draft class. Jonathan Kuminga, okay, whatever it is, and we'll check later during Prop Talk. And Moses Moody kills the Kings.
Yeah.
Every time Moses Moody plays, all Kings fans wonder, number one, a lot of Kings fans wanted to draft him, and number 2, why doesn't thank you, Steve Kerr, for hating Moses Moody.
Did Moses Moody use up all the good juju? Because he scored 24 yesterday against the Suns, who also suck on defense.
Normally, yes, but against the Kings, I'm telling you, man, okay, it's going to be quite the night. But what are we talking about? Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis. I know he's got the rib stuff. We'll check in on that. You have to get this done. I have absolutely no clue what the line is going to be tonight. Guess the spread is going to be very, very interesting. So we'll break all that down. Is it still a rivalry, right? Is it still a rivalry or is it done? Because in my opinion, I think there's maybe more venom than ever before because there's less familiarity. We will break all that down. We got the price tag on Ja. He's not hitting the downstairs basement rack at Macy's yet, but he's on the way. Okay, he's an additional 15% off if you use your Macy's card. That's where we're headed with Ja Morant. How low can you go with that price tag? Let's keep the conversation going. Again, Kings, please accept this gift from the basketball gods. We beg of you. You have rejected every gift. Everyone. You need this one. You need this one. 3-2, Kyle. My 3-2 could live. This is a gift from the heavens. My 3-2 could live.
No Anthony Edwards.
It could live, Kyle. But you got to take care of business. On the way back around the league, why I feel better about the Thunder game. And Desmond Bane did one of the more ridiculous things. And we have all those crazy calls from last night. Let's have some fun. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
If you're on YouTube, and it's so funny because, Kyle was trying to hate. He's got on his full-blown Bieber outfit today. And I was just driving in, and I thought, you know what? Kyle was trying to hate on the new Bieber album, so I'm going to make him listen to it today. Then I get into the studio, and he's dressed like the Biebs. It's just perfect.
I don't understand why he has a embargo on the crocheted beanie.
Watch the video. You look like Bieber. Okay, you're a brunette Bieber. You're a brown-haired Bieber.
Baby,
that's what you are.
Baby,
okay,
baby.
No. All right. So I had to play some Bieber today, and I will be playing it tonight, by the way.
It's not even just an album, it's 2 albums now.
Yeah, great. And they're all great songs.
They're all 40 of them?
It's going to be all over my Spotify Wrapped, okay? Yours is just going to be filled with that one Lumineers song from the one time we gave away tickets. You know what? That stupid Friday I'm in Love and Lumineers. Those are going to be the 2 songs on your Spotify
And that one
Wrapped.
Justin Moore song when we gave away all the tickets.
So, yes. And Mitchell Tenpenny. That one as well. Oh, that's going to be on.
Oh, that's just from the Country in the Park commercials that would air all the time.
916-339-1140. We're taking a little trip around the league before we get down and dirty talking about Kings, Warriors, but we are taking your calls and texts all show long. Is it still a rivalry? Was it ever a rivalry when we are talking about the Golden State Warriors? I find it incredibly disrespectful that they are using tonight. I know it's a back-to-back, but early on there was an article last week that said the Warriors, I guess, the soreness is the snoreness, but it said the Warriors were going to manage each back-to-back differently, and they did not initially count this back-to-back as a quote-unquote tough one because they had a home game. And somebody, said you can drive up 80 and then you get on I-5. So I think that was a mid-rock. And then they just had to go up the freeway to Sacramento. So just last week, they did not deem this as one of the back-to-backs where they would just kind of cook it and sell. But now, a little bit of soreness and a little bit of the Kings stinkness, now none of these dudes are playing.
Also, to Amadrock's point, okay, you technically go on I-5 if you're going to the arena, but you get off on that exit 4A, and then it's one exit up.
Look, just Kyle.
You're on I-5
Kyle,
for
you had us. What was it? You didn't know you could take
I-80
to San Francisco.
Yes, I didn't know if it dropped you off in Oakland. I didn't know what.
No, you're still you're banned for that. Okay, you're banned from that, from helping anybody. You and Brendan Nunez, because Brendan just only is on Highway 50. I saw this. I know Halloween's over now, but my wife sent me something, and it was a bunch of Sacramento themed scary haunted mansions, and one was a haunted mansion, but you're just stuck on Highway 50 for 5 hours. And I'm right there. Right there.
That's a good joke.
There was a bunch of them. I was supposed to read them during Halloween, but we were having too much fun and I was eating too many Snickers. 916-339-1140 as we take a trip around the league. Yeah, so I know I was the guy that was not doing the thing when the Kings lost to the Thunder. Hey, they tried their hardest. I know I wasn't that guy, and everybody else kind of was that person. Hey, that was a really good game against the Thunder. I know. Now, granted, Thunder were missing Chet and Isaiah Joe, and both of those guys played yesterday against the Clippers, and Kawhi did not play. But I watched pretty much the first half, a little bit more than the first half of that Clippers-Thunder game. I saw James Harden score, 13 points in the first quarter, and the Thunder just didn't blink. Meanwhile, Lou Dort had 2 fouls in the first quarter. Shea had 2 fouls, I think, in the first quarter. Late in that first quarter, he got his second. Kyle, they didn't blink. I changed the channel. We turned it off because, hey, prop talk. No, my wife, hey, why are we watching this? You know what I mean? There's enough basketball that we watch. Ended up turning on something else. I went to check the score, and the Thunder won, I don't know, by 10, whatever it was. I know no Kawhi, but it did make me think, man, maybe I'm just kind of sleeping on the Thunder. Maybe I've been sleeping on the Thunder for a while, and I know Chet, and there was still no Jalen Williams, by the way, but it made me feel a little bit better about the Kings and the fact that, yeah, the way they lost was super annoying, but the Thunder just don't play around, man. They're 8-0. They're 8-0.
I think the thing that we forget often is that the team that just won the championship often has a different confidence about themselves going into the year after. Think Warriors 73-9 season. That comes after their first championship. Obviously, the Bucks win the championship in 2021, and I think they won 60-something games the next season.
Yeah.
Once the team has the confidence to know that they can do it, all of a sudden they come out and they're like, oh, yep, we're not worried about you. We know we're the best team.
Well, and speaking of, as the Kings are taking on the Warriors tonight, I mean, it's there's certain teams where you're thinking, okay, we'll see what happens. And, you know, the Bucks, we never felt that with the Bucks, even though the Bucks won the whole thing. I don't know. I guess I kind of felt it with the 2020 Lakers, but that was just a weird season. These past champions, the Nuggets, a little bit. I think the Nuggets probably count, even though they only won one. These teams where you're just waiting. Right, you're just waiting. Nobody is worried. The betting line ain't moving, right? The live betting line, because they're gonna take care of business. I never felt that with the Bucks. That was just a weird season. But the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Thunder, you're just waiting for them to just settle in. It's almost like a boxing match, right? They're feeling it out. That's how we felt with LeBron in the East. Didn't matter if it was DeMar DeRozan. Didn't matter if it was Paul George. Hey, eventually, LeBron, whether it's the Cavs or the Heat, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to win the game.
The Heatles one is the one that I thought of. After they got that first title in 2012, they came back in 2013, and were like, yeah, y'all can't guard us.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? So I guess we both picked the Nuggets to win the finals, and I kind of understand why we did, but like, this Thunder team is, they were an all-time great regular season team last year, and right now they're off to an even better start than that.
Yeah, so, early on, the whole conversation was, are they trying to get to 70 wins? Clearly they are, and they're doing it without Jalen Williams, mind you. Undefeated with no Jalen Williams, and Chet missed 3 games. Chet missed 3 games from the good to the bad. This is not a joke anymore with Desmond Bane. And the Nuggets, the Magic. The Magic are 3-5. Yeah, they're going to have to remix this or something. The Magic are 3-5. They just lost to the Hawks. They've already played the Hawks twice, funny enough. But they lost to the Hawks. They've been swept by the Hawks. They've lost to the Hawks twice. And they're 3-5. And the funniest part of it is we always joke on this show about once you put on a Magic jersey, you can no longer shoot. Desmond Bane, who they gave up 4 low level, but 4 first-round picks for. They're paying him a buttload of money. Desmond Bane in 7 games is averaging 14.6 points per game, and he is shooting 41% from the field. Kyle, 25.8% from 3. I don't know what it is down there, but you just cannot shoot. And we are keeping an eye, of course, on the Magic, because if they blow it up, there might be some guys that they're interested in. And I wouldn't even wish that on Malik Monk. I wouldn't, because who's back tonight, by the way, from the personal reasons. But I wouldn't even wish that on Malik Monk, because I don't know what it is about that jersey, but only Franz Wagner, he has taken the shooting souls of everyone there, and nobody else down there can shoot a basketball.
We thought that they weren't going to be good picks that they gave up, but if the Magic are this bad, right. Memphis, congratulations, buddies. You guys can get a top pick in the draft. I think Memphis has like a pick swap situation, but right now they have pick 7 and pick 9, so things are going great for the Grizzlies.
From a bad surprise to a good surprise, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, they might be for real. They might be the Indianapolis Colts of the NBA season. We'll see what happens there. Y'all know how I love Matas. But Josh Giddey putting up insane numbers. He had over 20 points, 13 rebounds yesterday. It's just incredible what they're doing and who is also at the helm. I've been really hard on this guy because he couldn't shoot on the Kings. Ever since I got into Sacramento, this dude could not shoot. But Kevin Huerter is literally the grizzled vet on that team.
Kevin Huerter.
He bodied up somebody on the block. They thought there was a mouse in the house, even though Kevin Huerter goes 6'7". Bodied up somebody on the block, blocks their little self, and then Kevin Huerter stares down at him and took the ball up the court. I'm thinking, who the hell is this guy? So it's a young season. They could be doing the Jazz thing, but this team is really exciting. And again, who are they missing? Don't know when they're going to get him back because it's a calf, but they don't have Kobe White. They're doing this without Kobe White. So I know I've been hard on Kevin Huerter. He said some things that I didn't like. I think has been a lack of accountability from time to time there. He just didn't like how things ended. He's entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to mine. But good on him for reworking this thing. He was, I don't know, not a throwaway, but everybody thought he would be sent somewhere else, and he still could if the Bulls just completely fall apart. It's very early, but right now he looks like the vet that they need, shooting the basketball. I think maybe he's a little older now, got a little bit of that man strength on him to go with that 6'7" frame, and they're exciting, man. People are saying they're the number one league pass team. They love watching the Bulls, so good on him. We also have an uncomfortable truth about the 2026 NBA draft, but Kyle, and we might have to do it on the other side, we got to play these sounds from yesterday. We have to play these sounds from yesterday. So I'm going to tease it. We got both of them, the Bucks sound. We have the Bulls sound, speaking of the Bulls, and we're taking your calls here. And what comes next for Hot Honey Jones? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily. Brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles,
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And we just found out that we should have John Dickinson from KMBR on at 1:30. So closer to the end of the show, John's running around and JD, and he's going to be up in Sacramento. So we're catching him when we can catch him, and he's going to have some good notes on not just the Warriors, but of course he knows a ton about the Kings. He's familiar, very, very familiar with this market and this station. So JD is going to join us at 1:30. So you don't want to miss that, as we have an extravaganza. I mean, it's still an extravaganza, even though the stars might not be playing for the Warriors. And we got to check in on who. Look, do the Kings counter that? I don't know that they can afford to be honest with you, but do they counter that? Domantas Sabonis who's grabbing the ribs. Now, Precious Achiuwa would have to be playing if they want to maybe give a break to Domantas Sabonis. But do they counter that in some way to say, hey, by the way, is this the first iteration of Kings Warriors with no infamous Domantas Sabonis, Kevon Looney matchup? I know Kevon Looney kind of fell off after he took Sabonis' lunch money a couple years ago, but this is the first time, right? The Warriors Kings are doing battle with no Kevon Looney.
I mean, officially, I'm sure there were some games Looney wasn't available, but yes, officially Kevon Looney not on the Warriors anymore.
So we're going to get to these sounds, okay, when it comes to what happened last night, because there's just going to be drops on the show. It was just incredible last night from the Bulls and the Bucks respectively. But we want to get to Adam, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Adam? What you got for us?
Hey, I was just calling you because I am one of your double agents that you.
Oh no!
That you were calling out earlier.
Oh no, Adam!
No, I'm not going to smack talk or nothing. Like when the Kings added DeRozan last year, I for sure was like, oh, they're the best California team, and they weren't. But I will say, I don't think it's so much of a team rivalry. I think it is a 100% fan rivalry. Fans don't like each other more than the teams don't like each other.
Yeah. Do you think it is? And you live in Sacramento, Adam?
Yeah, I live in I live outside of Sacramento, but I'm originally from the Bay.
Okay, so you were never a Kings fan?
No.
Okay, just had to check. Do you think that it feels different, like I said earlier, because there's no De'Aaron Fox, Steph Curry connection, and Mike Brown is also gone? Does it feel like there's less of a connection? Because I think that might help the rivalry, as I was saying, because there was a lot of familiarity, and now that familiarity is kind of gone.
I think they definitely – I think it's different. I think it could be more hostile, potentially, than I think but I think you're right. I think with De'Aaron, with Steph Curry, Bran, and Mike Brown being with Steve Kerr, I think that was more of a I think you're with the frenemies thing.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Adam. Great stuff. See, I was hoping some double agent would call in, and Adam's a good double agent, so we appreciate that. I will say this. You traded the familiarity of De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry and Mike Brown, and you've added Buddy Hield, who's one of the most hated Kings of recent memory. So I think that's one thing that I meant to bring up. I think that's there as well. And let us not forget, Dennis Schroeder, Warriors fans cannot stand Dennis Schroeder because he was very bad. There are so many storylines tonight, even with the guys that aren't playing. I mean, you have a whole, look, prop talk. You got a whole ticket, okay? Now, this is I'm not saying that this is a ticket that anybody would put in, but you get a Dennis Schroeder over and whatever you want it to be. Dennis Schroeder, Kuminga, you got to put Moses Moody on there, and Buddy Hield. That's 4 right there that I would, Kyle, possibly just lock in now.
Well, I mean, there's still Westbrook from all the Durant stuff.
And Westbrook. Well, that's just Westbrook on principle.
Yeah,
Westbrook on principle.
Westbrook just doesn't like the Warriors because of the Durant stuff.
You want to see, and we still don't know if Draymond is going to play or not. I would not bet on it. Kyle, one of the one of the sadder, and it's gone now because the chat is on fire, and shout out to everybody on the SAC chat as well as the text line. Kyle, I saw one of the, I think it's from Akash, okay? And Akash said one of the saddest things, and I don't think Akash meant it to be sad, Kyle. You want to hear what Akash said?
Let's go for it.
Thoughts on Maxime Reynaud eventually being our Quentin Post? 2 question marks. Akash, I appreciate you, brother, and I thank you for watching and listening to the show. And this is no disrespect to Quentin Post.
The Stephen A. Smith voice is out.
This is no disrespect to Quentin Post. But if Maxime, and I get it, 2 second-rounders for sure. But if Maxime Reynaud, if his ceiling stops at Quentin Post, it would be a pretty big letdown for me. That's no disrespect to Quentin Post. Quentin Post is playing because he's their Walmart Vucevic. That's what he is. And they did not play him in the playoffs. He was only a rookie. He's only a second-year guy. And he's another guy who kind of cooks the Kings, by the way. So we have our full 5 ticket. We have our full 5-player ticket. So, Akash, I hear where you're coming from. But my hopes and dreams is that Maxime Reynaud is better than Quentin Post. Now, Quentin Post did play rookie year on a playoff team. Maxime Reynaud just got moved to the G League. Quentin Post did not play in the playoffs, though, so a little bit he did. So I hear what you're saying, Akash. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Quentin Post, but I really hope Maxime Reynaud, that's not his ceiling, because we don't even know what Quentin Post is going to be. Let's just hope that's not his ceiling.
I guess out of respect to the question, which is eventually being our Quentin Post, I would say on this version of the Kings,
yes.
I hope that he eventually becomes the Quentin Post, whether that's in January, February, March,
and
April.
I think that's a good point, because to agree with Akash, I think the hope would have been that he could have been that Quentin Post now, right? I think Quentin Post, and look, I know I am a huge Maxime Reynaud guy. Can I say this out loud? And I don't think anybody's ever said it before. If we're comparing both of them, what was it? Boston College, I believe, that Quentin Post went to. Quentin Post got a smooth stroke. I got to say, there's a little bit of a hitchy woo-woo in Maxime Reynaud's jump shot. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it because it goes in, but he could have a smoother jump shot.
I think that's fair. Look, we talked about this yesterday, and the video's actually kind of doing well on YouTube. So if you want to check out, we did a full Maxime Reynaud segment yesterday. But I am discouraged by the fact that he hasn't been able to contribute at all on this team that is desperate for any kind of size and defending, that they've just decided Maxime is not ready, and they'd rather put Russell Westbrook at the 4 or Nick Clifford at the 4 than they would give Maxime Reynaud an opportunity, because that's just telling you in practice Maxime is not ready.
I mean, Quentin Post, I'm talking about Quentin Post not being able to play in playoff games, and he did get some minutes, but he was at least good enough to play in regular season games.
I mean, he started last night for the Warriors.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, he kills them. And Kyle, we have a 6-player ticket now. How could we forget? This is from the 209. Now, Malik Monk, now he's coming back from personal reasons. He already killed the Warriors. Now you have his chip, so I would replace Russell Westbrook. This is the all chip, if you will, prop talk ticket. Now you have Malik Monk, who they didn't want you, Malik. This is the easiest. You want to send your kids to college, and now I'm not promoting it, but there are so many easy storylines, Kyle. This is a walking winning ticket.
So Buddy Hield revenge game.
Okay, we got the full 6. Now you going 6. You better be cooking here. So we got Buddy Hield over. Okay, we have Kuminga over, Moody over, Malik over,
Schroeder,
that's 5, and then you could throw either Westbrook or Quentin Post.
Okay. You pick your favorite between Westbrook and Quentin Post.
Outstanding from you, 209. Outstanding. Okay, Kyle, let's do dealer's choice. Whatever you want to lead with. These were the 2 amazing calls from the Bulls announcer, respectively, and then the Bucks announcer. Everyone's talking about the Bulls call, but I thought the Bucks call was pretty funny too. Kyle, just play both, but tell me or don't tell me, and just we'll go from there and react.
Biggest Biggest shot of the season. Oh, my goodness. Elizabeth. I'm coming again, Elizabeth. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's the big one, Elizabeth. The Cardiac Bulls again.
So he said that last year on the Giddy shot, and a lot of young kids. And I'm honestly, at 35 years old, I'm kind of the cutoff point. I did not initially know. I know he did it last year, and that's where I kind of got hip to it. But I did not grow up watching Sanford and Son. That was before my time, too. So I know people your age, Kyle, were thinking, is this dude about to just lose his job?
Oh, I had no idea. I had not a single clue. I only learned about this because I saw the video you sent. I only learned what it was when Dave explained it this morning. I had no clue what he was talking about.
Incredible. Oh, so those will be drops on the show moving forward.
Well, the other one will not be.
No.
I can't do that as a drop out of context.
No, the rest of what he's saying.
I can't do the Elizabeth part out of context.
Absolutely not. It's one of the most bizarre situations, or unique, I should say, where we can play it on the airwaves as is. But
biggest shot of the season. Oh, my goodness. Elizabeth, I'm coming again, Elizabeth.
I can do that, but I can't just do the...
I got you on that one. Kyle, let's play the Bucks one, which was also pretty funny to me.
Come defending. Giannis blows past. Race it to the rafters.
What?
Again. So Giannis just does his Giannis thing, and he dunks on someone, and the announcer, he just had no words.
Why does he sound like a pirate?
Pirates of the Caribbean, Disneyland, you'll hear this. And then the back, what
was he trying to say?
You know, if you're a religious person, sometimes you speak in tongues. And the way Giannis dunked on someone had him speaking in tongues. Like that one to me, because we've heard the Elizabeth one, that one to me was just, I don't think it was planned that he said, I don't think it was planned, hey, when I go into this game, if Giannis dunks on someone, I'm going to say, he couldn't think of anything to say.
But again, and I'll leave this out to texters or YouTubers, try and decipher a word of what he was trying to say. Because there's like 5 syllables in there.
There's no words, Kyle. And there doesn't need to be words.
What? That was insane.
Just one more.
Okay.
916-339-1140. We will be back in the 11 o'clock hour and discussing the Ja Morant watch, what Sam Amick is saying, what Mark Spears is saying. And real quick, 916 is saying, can we start getting some hoops and football coverage as far as the Sacramento sports are concerned? Kings are not the only sport in town. Yeah, I mean, look, you got to win, right? The Kings are probably the only team that doesn't have to win, and we're still going to talk about. Sac State, you got to win. And we talked about Sac State with the whole Panda Grizzlies thing. They lost. Right?
We also talked about him yesterday, Mike Bibby.
Shout out, we talked about them yesterday. We ain't going to do an hour on Sac State basketball unless they start cooking. They are undefeated. I don't believe Dominican is D1, but they won at home. They take down Dominican, so they're off to a good start. We got you, 916, but we doing Kings talk and Ja Morant watch when we return. Now on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed. which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers get a win in New York, 34-24. Christian McCaffrey had another big game, 106 yards rushing. Mac Jones, also a big game. He threw for 235 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the victory. San Francisco with the win improves to 6-3. Upcoming, it's a huge game for the Niners on Sunday. They take on first place LA. Catch the game right here on Sactown Sports 1140, beginning at noon on Sunday.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Some news. It's not. I mean, it's breaking if you're a Jazz fan, but not for us.
You like jazz?
I mean, this is exactly, I guess, what Danny Ainge. Not that he wants people injured, but Utah Jazz center will. Walker Kessler, because they got 4 of them. Walker Kessler will undergo season-ending left shoulder surgery. This is from Chris Haynes, so we have been briefed. So, yeah.
This is Chris Haynes, and you've been briefed.
Now, I'm double-checking something, and the Thunder just always have some hands on somebody's picks. I guess, technically, if they fall outside the top 8, it would go to OKC. But if it falls outside the top 8, I mean, the Thunder or the Jazz have bigger issues. Now, right now at 3 and 4, they don't have they don't have a great chance of jumping up, but they ain't going to finish where they are right now. So they should be keeping that pick. And again, if you're the Jazz, more a development, I guess. And Kyle, you had a great point before or during the break. They didn't want to pay Walker. And, you know, obviously you don't want guys injured, but he's about to hit restricted free agency. That value, he did have some good stints, don't get me wrong, right? He had a really good first game or whatever it was. But that value, they are going to be able to keep him if they want for probably a good price. Or maybe another team will get him at a decent price as well. So that just came out. And, you know, the Kings should be worried now about facing an underhanded or a short-handed Jazz team, whatever that is. But they got to worry about dealing with a short-handed Warriors team. But help could be on the way for the Kings, as there are still some conversations being had and starting to heat up with the Ja Morant watch. Senor segue strikes again. We have traded in. That was a 2. We have traded in.
It's a long Senor segue.
Yeah, it was. We have traded in Jonathan Kuminga watch for Ja Morant watch, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Kyle, let's hear from Mark Spears. This actually dropped yesterday, and Mark Spears always has these little nuggets, and that's why we love to hear from him. Let's hear from Mark Spears and what he is initially hearing about Ja Morant, not just his availability, what the interest level would be. Here it is.
Talked to a couple GMs who told me, like last summer, every player on the Grizzlies was available for trade. That includes Ja and Jaren. Certainly curious to me that the Orlando Magic were able to make a trade with the Grizzlies. They got Desmond Bane, which made it apparent that they could have got Ja Morant and decided not to. 40 execs I talked to today said they really have no interest in trading for him. One said it was because it's a combo of contract and off-the-court issues. Another suggested that if Ja is traded, it'll probably be a problem star for a problem star. A couple of them also said that you need the right coaching staff to have such a mercurial star as him. And I asked one current NBA coach if he would like to coach Ja Morant. And he said, I'm not sure I'd want to.
Doug Christie would love Ja. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay, now you got to compete defensively. But Doug Christie, I think that the way he goes about his business on court when Ja is in the zone like that, I think Doug Christie would love it. The defense part, I think, yeah, okay, fair enough. So that was yesterday, okay? This is today from Sam Amick. Quote, the Minnesota Timberwolves, per a team source, are one interested team, ditto for the Sacramento Kings. The Grizzlies' next opponent, the Houston Rockets, need a point guard after losing Fred VanVleet to a torn ACL in the preseason, but per a team source, are unlikely to pursue him. That's just a small sample size of what might be out there and not out there if the Morant sweepstakes ever actually begin. Now, based on whether or not the Morant sweepstakes will actually begin, Chris Mannix of NBA on NBC as well as Sports Illustrated says the Grizzlies are not interested in rebuilding and believe their star duo of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson forms the foundation of a contender. Here's the quote. Going full rebuild may be out of the question, and the Grizzlies don't want to do that. They believe the Morant-Jaren Jackson Jr. tandem is the foundation of a contender. They believe a return to full health, Memphis already has been decimated by injuries, will lead to wins. This isn't a team looking to sell Morant. It's one looking to use the assets it has, including the bag of first-round draft picks it acquired from Orlando in the Desmond Bane trade last summer to add pieces around him. You know, when it goes to the window conversation, Ja Morant's 26. I'm assuming Jaren Jackson is around the same age. You have those draft picks, but it's funny, you almost need to look at the Nick Cliffords of the world, because I don't know that you're trying to bring in a 19-year-old, right? There is enough of an age gap there to where there's a 19-year-old. I know Ja's only 26, but I don't know that Ja's going to be able to play for the next 5 to 7 years. He's already changing how he's played. You bring him a 19-year-old who needs all this help and, needs time to kind of get going here. Let's say a Jonathan Kuminga project type. I don't know if those timelines match up. So they're probably going to be low-level picks anyway if the Magic figure it out. So they're not really going to be taking, I don't think, huge swings on super young players, even if they're talented. The timelines don't match up. And if they do that and they do hit, now Ja is in a Trae Young situation on the outside looking in. Part of me believes that this is posturing on the part of the Grizzlies. It's still early. But the other part is this. Nobody wants to be the Sacramento Kings. And what do I mean by that? The Sacramento Kings just got clowned for what they did in moving De'Aaron Fox and the way that they moved De'Aaron Fox. Now, I believe De'Aaron Fox is better than Ja Morant. They both have had their injury issues lately, but prior to the recent issues with De'Aaron has been much more available than Ja Morant. I think he's a smidge older than Ja Morant, but I just think De'Aaron, and he got paid his big money. De'Aaron, based on how the game is changing, De'Aaron is going to play at a high level for a longer period of time. His jump shot is slightly better, right? Even though people are in San Antonio don't know what it's going to look like because they got 8,000 young guards and a bunch of young talent, I think De'Aaron, just on its face, I think he's better than Ja Morant. So with that being said, that price tag, and we don't have to dig that up again, but that price tag that the Kings got back, and the return that they got back for De'Aaron Fox has been, disrespect to Zach LaVine, a bit laughed at throughout the basketball world. And nobody wants to be that, right? Nobody wants to be the jester of their respective space. And with that being said, I think the Grizzlies, some of it is posturing. I love my pie charts. Some of it is posturing, but I think some of it is the truth, because when you do hit on young talent, you want to make the most of it. And the same way we say, when is the next time the Kings are going to be able to get a De'Aaron Fox talent? When is the next time the Kings are going to be able to get a Ja Morant talent? In Memphis, which is fairly similar to the Kings as far as the market is concerned. I think the Kings Sacramento is a bit bigger, but maybe I'm biased. When are they going to get another Ja Morant talent? When are they going to get another Jaren Jackson talent? They can get picks, but if anybody knows that you can trick off picks, it's Sacramento Kings fans. So I do think some of this is posturing, but I think there's also an appetite from the Grizzlies to make this work because right now he doesn't have great value. If the Grizzlies want to sell on Ja Morant, they need him to look a bit better because right now you're going to lose him for a return that might be similar to De'Aaron Fox, probably worse. And if he does figure it out somewhere else, you're going to have egg on your face because it was a good deal. If you're going to sell for Ja Morant, you probably want a better price tag because your choices are, going back to Sacramento, your choices are losing out on a talent that you're never going to get in free agency. You have to draft talent like that. So your choices are losing that talent, okay, and losing that talent at a lesser price, and then him figuring it out. So I don't think that the Grizzlies are completely closed for business, but I definitely don't think they want to sell at a low price right now because your choices aren't great when you're in Memphis. If this was LA, yeah, we can go get another Ja Morant tomorrow. But you're Memphis. You're going to have to draft somebody, and with those picks, if the Magic figure it out, and maybe it's just your own pick. I got to double check what they have. Memphis owns their own pick this season. So I don't know, Kyle. I mean, you got a decision to make, right?
Memphis has all of their picks going forward.
So, I mean, and this is what we talked about yesterday. Do you think any of those picks will be as good as Ja Morant? Maybe you're just willing to take that chance. If you're not willing to take that chance because you believe in Ja Morant's talent, then you're definitely not going to sell low. So I think at the very least, they're not going to, and I know we keep saying on the Sacramento side, we want this to get ugly. We do want this to get ugly. But if I'm Memphis, we want this to get better so we can get a better return. Memphis is not going to make a hasty decision a la the Sacramento Kings, who are getting clowned for it, and move off of Ja right now. They're going to slow play this thing. They're 3-5. We ain't even 10 games into the season. So I don't see them, saying, foreclosing on their house, on Ja Morant's house, and saying, hey, we're done here. I don't see that happening. Some of it is posturing. I think they'll take calls, but they're not letting you, as I made the joke about the Macy's basement or the last chance clearance. They're not giving you a last chance clearance price right now. Doco, I went around to Doco when that Macy's closed. I went to the jewelry section thinking, okay, I'm about to come up on something. I thought, are y'all going to transfer this jewelry somewhere else? Because I thought it said last chance, right? These prices not what I thought it was. I go over to the nice section. I'm trying to get my Lacoste. I love the little alligator. I'm thinking, isn't this supposed to be last chance? This Ralph Lauren? This just looks like a normal sale. Aren't y'all going out of business? Obviously, they were going to send their stuff somewhere else. But right now, Kyle, I think people are trying to get a bargain bin clearance deal on Ja Morant. And if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm not going. I'm not going right now.
Yeah, so this is kind of the tough situation the Grizzlies are in, is if you're shopping Ja Morant, are you going to get a team willing to give you, and you don't want to do the picks thing, are you willing to have a team give you a Ja Morant quality star in return? Which is why Mark Spears made the point, it's probably a disgruntled star for a disgruntled star.
And who is that outside of Trae Young, by the way, or Darius Garland? Darius Garland for Ja in Cleveland. I just don't know what, not to get sidetracked, I just don't know why Cleveland would do that. But
well, I mean, Cleveland, we brought up the trade situation earlier. Does Cleveland decide, watching the Pacers, we actually need to go the 10 deep model and say we're Sacramento? It's like, we'll take DeRozan because we can have DeRozan offense defense with DeAndre Hunter. We can have Keon offense defense with Donovan Mitchell. We can have Lonzo Ball and Schroeder, and now all of a sudden our point guard position is quality. And, DeRozan talked about, hey, I love playing with Lonzo Ball. Maybe that works it out. But
that's not getting Ja.
No, it would be like a 3-team. Like they're selling Darius Garland, and Memphis still wants to compete.
I see what you're saying.
Like, that's the only world I see something like that happening for Cleveland. Cleveland ain't taking no Ja Morant. That I feel pretty.
No, that's what I thought you were initially saying.
No. It would be like Cleveland wants the secondary package, right? Because Cleveland, again, not to get in the weeds, but Cleveland's got to get under the second apron. So they got to trade either Jared Allen or Darius Garland.
Right.
But to the point about Ja, if the two options are Minnesota and Sacramento, at least in terms of interest that Sam Amick talked about, your trade package is built around either DeMar DeRozan or Jaden McDaniels, and neither of those players are the caliber of Ja Morant. So unless you're getting something greater in return, you're getting a fringe point guard, either Dennis Schroeder or Mike Conley, which honestly Memphis might like Mike Conley finishing his career in Memphis, find your way back around. But you're getting a fringe point guard.
You didn't say Rob Dillingham.
Well, Rob Dillingham probably gets traded in the Ja Morant
Yeah, that's
deal.
what I'm saying, for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Rob Dillingham. If Memphis if Minnesota's willing to give up on Dillingham now, I don't know if Dillingham is gonna make it in this league. But yeah, it's a trade built around either DeRozan or Jaden McDaniels and just pieces, right? And Minnesota doesn't have any premium picks. The Kings probably wouldn't trade any premium picks for Ja Morant, so you're getting essentially 80 cents on the dollar for Ja Morant just to get rid of the headache. And maybe they would make, diamonds out of whatever. And, you've got Scottie Pippen and you've got Jaden McDaniels now, and you've got Jalen Wells and Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson. Like, maybe the Grizzlies could talk themselves into, we're going to make diamonds out of this mess. But it certainly would feel like when they made the trade, they'd be selling low on Ja Morant.
Kyle, it's not that I'm not listening to you. I just got a text message. And this person is typing now, and they say they don't care because I just got a text message from our own Brendan Nunez. And Brendan, listening to the show, sometimes a lot of our guys, our digital guys, they do a great job for us. Sometimes they'll have to cut and for YouTube and digital and things like that. They wear many hats. They do a great job. So Brendan's listening to the show. And as we bring up a disgruntled star, I get a text from Brendan Nunez. It says, with about 4 or 5 N's in there. Domas could become a disgruntled star. Something to keep an eye on. Now, I would like to see Domas with Ja Morant. I would.
The Grizzlies would like to see Domas with Jaren Jackson.
And that would be good for them. And Ty Jerome can run that thing whenever he plays. But that is something to monitor. That's not something I had on my radar, simply because you got your coach, you got your point guard. This is your team now, to Domas. So it's just something to monitor there. That was from Brendan Nunez, because I did not think that was a name he was going to say.
So we talked about this a little bit on Monday when this whole thing first started, and my initial thought was a Ja Morant for Domas swap or a Ja Morant for Zach LaVine swap would be a situation where both teams say no. Like, I think
you said that on Monday.
Yeah, I understand why the Kings would say no. Like, Ja Morant and Zach Edey for Domantas Sabonis feels like you're not any closer to competing if you're Sacramento. You're just kind of reshuffling a team that needs a second star. But if I'm the Grizzlies, if I'm giving up Ja Morant and Zach Edey, I have Sabonis and Jaren Jackson, but then my starting backcourt is KCP and Scottie Pippen Jr., and I'm trying to make room for Jalen Wells. And I just feel like the Grizzlies with Jaren and Sabonis wouldn't be any closer to competing unless it's just clearing out space for your young guards.
Well, and somebody mentioned GG Jackson. I love GG Jackson, who that dude is still only 20, 21. He just can't stay on the court. Somebody mentioned a trade to get Ja and GG Jackson, and he's making his way back now. And obviously Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells has not shot the ball well, but local guy, Sonoma State, shout out. And we hope that he figures it out, and we believe he will figure it out. Kyle, as you're talking, I kind of came up with a reason behind what Brendan has said. And be sure to follow Brendan Nunes because he's got a lot of great nuggets like this on his social media. And, of course, does great work for us here at SactownSports.com as well as the Sactown Sports app. But here's the thing, Kyle. Sometimes you got to boom or bust, right? And Elizabeth, I'm not getting there. But sometimes you have to sometimes you have to just take a real swing at it, right? And I think the argument for the Kings to do this deal, if Domas were to become disgruntled, is because as good as Domas is, as much as we want to defend Domantas Sabonis, or I should say, majority of Kings fans, as the Warriors are getting ready to drive up 80 and then 5 tonight to take on the Sacramento Kings, let us not forget that playoff run that has shaped how people want to not take what Domantas Sabonis has done seriously and downplay all of it. I say all that, but Domantas Sabonis does keep you in a weird space, and we've talked about this before. He's good enough to keep you afloat. He's not good enough to carry you. He's a tweener as far as a big is concerned. You can't bring in a shot blocker because they can't stretch the floor. You can't bring in a marketing because the defense just wouldn't be good enough. So he does have you in a bit of a holding pattern, and of course you're paying him $40 million. But he's good, over $40 million. But he is good enough to keep you in that 9 spot, and it's not just him, to keep you in that 9 spot and probably give you a one good game and be one win away from the playoffs. And again, we're talking about becoming the 8 seed, by the way. We're talking about becoming the 8 seed. Let's keep a larger view at this. It's not about just getting into the dance. We got to raise our expectations here a little bit. So with all that being said, Kyle, it's kind of the Zion thing. Funny enough, they're from the same class. Now Zion has hammy issues. You say to yourself, I'm actually more so willing to put the chips in on the table with Ja Morant because I can't keep doing this meet me in the middle stuff. I can't keep doing this 9 seed. Maybe we'll get the 8 seed because Domantas Sabonis, for how good he is, it's just so hard to build around him. Let's get Ja. It might pop. It might flop. But you know what? At least if it flops, we will have no choice but to restart. It's almost like you're suffering from Domantas Sabonis being so good, but not pretty good. There's a baseball Twitter handle, right? And it's really fun because it brings up a lot of favorite names that I grew up with, and it's called the Hall of Pretty Good. So the Hall of Pretty Good, now obviously Domantas Sabonis will be in the Hall of Fame. Basketball Hall of Fame is different than these other Hall of Fames. But it's the Hall of Pretty Good. And every day they'll post players that will not make it to the Hall of Fame that you'll probably forget about or have already forgotten about, but they deserve to be in the Hall of Pretty Good.
Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence. The Hall of Brandon Crawford, most recently, they put into the Hall of Pretty Good.
Yeah, my version of this is Brian Giles.
There you go. So Domantas Sabonis, how he plays right now is the equivalent to the Hall of Pretty Good, which has kept the Kings stuck. Now, I don't know that Ja Morant is that much better than Domantas Sabonis, but we know that he has been better at his height. So if you are willing to take that chance and say, you know what, I know this might flop, but at least it will force us into a conversation of us restarting this thing anyway. If we continue with this Domantas Sabonis thing, we're probably going to continue to be just good enough to give people hope, which some might argue the Kings don't mind because keeps butts in them seats, and you still get an XXL shirt for playoffs. By the way, I got one of those shirts, Kyle, for the start of the season. They had the Fear the Roar or Respect the Roar, whatever it is. So I got one of those shirts, and it fits pretty well. I'm going to give the other one to my mother. So
eventually it's just going to be Acknowledge the Roar.
Acknowledge the Roar. So with all that being said, I don't know if that's the best way to look at it, but Domantas Sabonis kind of handcuffs you because he's good. He's really good. He's the Hall of Pretty Good, but he is just not good enough to take you to the promised land. And the Kings have tried. This would be the third iteration of building around or attempting to build around Domantas Sabonis. And if it doesn't work, sometimes it just doesn't work. Other guys now, if somebody else wants to pay that amount of money for Domantas Sabonis, I don't know how the wine industry is in Memphis, Tennessee, but maybe you look at it. That is my argument. And now again, this is me being debate Allen. I'm not necessarily saying I would do it, but that would be the argument to do it.
Well, let's flip it from the Sabonis conversation to the Ja Morant conversation. Do you think a core for a 2-year run of Ja Morant, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Zach Edey is really going to make any much more of a dent than the previous version that we have now?
Here's the thing, Kyle. Because of that center position, here's my argument. Removing Domas gives you a lot more flexibility to create the center position as you now want it. You're saying Zach Edey doesn't have to be Zach Edey.
I mean, they're probably going to have to take him back in the trade, though.
But even if you get Zach Edey, we know he is kind of a plotting big man, right? So you know his limitations. Domas is like a jack of all trades, which makes it tougher. Jack of all trades, master of none. He's a master at rebounding, but you would know, cool, we have this plotting center. Now we can go out and get a Lauri Markkanen, whoever, because we know what Lauri's going to do and what Zach Edey's going to do. With Domas, he's not a tweener. Zach Edey's not a tweener. We know all these guys, right? Drizzy back in the day before he lost to Kendrick. They tell me pick a lane, pick a lane. Domas doesn't really have a lane besides a lot of people calling him the Diet Jokic. And the Diet Jokic, I guess I don't know what Şengün has done. He's turned into, I don't know what the hell Şengün is. He's now the Diet Jokic. And I guess Sabonis is the Jokic Zero, like the Pepsi Zero. So I don't know what to do with that. But my point is, it's really hard to build around him. And even if you took back Zach Edey, who is not better than Domantas Sabonis, it gives you more freedom to build a team that might make more sense. That was the quickest 25 minutes I've ever had. On the other side, let's take your calls, your texts. Am I crazy? It's not me. Ken on the chat says, stop trying to trade Domantas Sabonis. Ken, I try to trade everybody. It's not personal. And I don't even know if I want Ja Morant. 916-339-1140. On the other side, are you tired of the Kings being in on every disgruntled star? Can't we just get our own? Well, they normally trade them. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Some nights just call for something better, a place above the noise, where the skyline glows and the energy feels effortless. That place is Revival at the Sawyer, Sacramento's rooftop escape. All November long, show your Sactown Sports app and enjoy buy one, get one half off beverages. Whether it's golden hour with friends or late night laughter under the city lights, Revival's the place to see and the place to be seen. Revival at the Sawyer, the view, the vibe, the moment. Reserve your table at revivalsacramento.com. Offer valid once per visit per person.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-646-5454. That's 800-646-5454.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Downy rinse tonight, and I need it more. My kid wears the bed and the smell never leaves. I don't know what to do, I'm always in the dark. The sweating dead short smells like a dog park. Downy rinse it tonight.
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
Rinse it out.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at revivemenshealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
209 says, would you rather have Diet Jokic or Diet Fox? Now, I know I took us there, but I don't know that that's apples to apples, right? Because the space between Ja and De'Aaron, even though I think De'Aaron's better, much smaller than Sabonis and Jokic. Kyle, what are we doing with Şengün?
What are we doing with Şengün?
I don't know.
I just kind of think he's like, because he's so young and because he's going to get to play with other star teammates versus Sabonis has only had half a season of Victor Oladipo and one De'Aaron Fox all-star teammate in his career. Şengün's kind of like what Sabonis' career could have been had he gone to a better place.
That's a great call. That's a great call. Now, not to get in the weeds here, but some of it was by design, okay? Some of it was by design. The De'Aaron thing, we're just coworker, whatever it was, right? Because he did work really well with De'Aaron. I think they were probably close to their ceiling, but I don't think they were there yet. It doesn't matter now, but it's a great call, Kyle, because we used to say, and I know this was more of a time period versus just how things are going to finish, but we used to say, man, if it wasn't for Jokic, everybody would be talking about Domantas Sabonis. It feels like now that's going to be Şengün. The only difference is we're still talking about Şengün. And the other thing is we were doing that with Jokic, with Domantas Sabonis when he was 25, 26. Ain't Şengün only still 23?
Şengün's 23, which I will say for reference, though, Sabonis was traded to Sacramento at 24. So, like, he was an all-star at 24 years old with the Pacers. So I do feel like Şengün and Sabonis are kind of in similar trajectories. It's just Sabonis, the best teammate he ever had was De'Aaron Fox. And, I mean, you can debate me if you want, but I think Kevin Durant right now is probably just as good, if not better, than De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, and then you throw in Amen Thompson and the rest of the crew that they have. I mean, it's a better they were the 2 seed. Now, Şengün was part of that, and this last season was his breakout season, but I'm just trying to figure out, what his trajectory, what his ceiling is compared to Sabonis, because we compare all these guys. I think Sabonis is going to take the mantle back. I know the money is a big deal, but Sabonis is going to take the mantle back from Zubac. Zubac, I watched him last night, and I was talking about Brendan Nunes because he sent in a very spicy text to my personal line. And Şengün, I know he gets paid way less than Domantas Sabonis, but I don't know. We can do that thing if we want and say, well, he's got more value because it's the Brock Purdy thing in a way. Zubac is not better than Domantas Sabonis. I watched last night. I know Kawhi didn't play. Last season was a great season for Zubac, but the Şengün thing we can talk about because he is growing his game. We got to stop with the Zubac stuff. He is on a much better contract, and maybe pound for pound, you could say a better value deal. That is not the same as saying it's Mac Jones, Brock Purdy thing, if you will. I guess in a different way, but that is not the same as Zubac is actually better than Domantas Sabonis.
No, Zubac is like an upper echelon Jarrett Allen, but he's not a star big, if that makes sense. He's kind of a tier below Sabonis.
And everybody wanted to say last season, he had a great season last season. The Clippers surprised a bunch of people. They weren't supposed to be good, but more so it was, well, look at his production and what he's getting paid. That is completely fair, but that does not make you better. That does not make you better than another guy. It's a different conversation. His value might be better than Domantas Sabonis, but he's not a better player. Domantas Sabonis is getting paid pretty well. That's just what it is.
At some point we'll come up with the bigs tiers.
Yeah, that's just what it is. Now, it depends on how you want to look at it, but I'm just saying on its face as basketball players, not price tags and things like that. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Michael, who wants to talk Ja. What's up, Michael? What you got for us?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Can't complain. I know it's raining, but it is what it is. What you got?
I was listening to the Drive guys yesterday. They brought up a good point. You know, I'm all for the draft. I'm a big draft guy, but they're mentioning it could be a covert draft potentially. I know the front office says that, we want to play the guys out. I love Westbrook. I wouldn't mind extending him. I just think that foul on Giannis spoke volumes to grit, determination, his durability, and, veteran and former MVP. But I just wanted to know and get your guys' thoughts. Do you think, I wanted to get your guys' opinion. What do you guys think Domas' trade value is? Do you think it can get us some 2026 picks, 2027 picks? And my second question, I'll take these off the line. But what kind of trade package do you think will get us draw?
Thanks for the call, Michael. Great stuff. You're not getting anything 2026 not first round for Domantas Sabonis. I don't think.
Well, it depends on the team, right? So if you're trading him to Oklahoma City,
sure.
You don't want their 20. Well, Oklahoma City has 4 picks this year. You'll get some of Oklahoma City's picks this year, but if you're trading him to, I'm just trying to think of a team that Detroit, for example, like that's a team that would actually make a lot of sense, right? They got Cade. They don't really have a second star. If you're trading for Detroit, you don't really want their 2026 pick because it's going to be somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah, right now they're slated at number 26.
Yeah, so if you're trading with a team like Detroit, then you don't really care about the 2026 pick because it's not going to be very high. But if you're trading with, I don't know, Charlotte, because Charlotte thinks now we're one piece away from being able to build around LaMelo, well, then you do kind of want their pick earlier. So it all depends on what type of package you go for.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Kyle, because of this whole YouTube 4-letter network issue. And I know I saw Pat McAfee just talking trash about his employer. Look, I'm not saying I wish I could do that, but I think it's a lot of people's dream that you can just say whatever you want about your employer and they're going to pay you 7 figures anyway. So Pat McAfee saying, nobody cares, stop having Stephen A. And all these random people say, hey, do what you need to do. But with that not being available for me right now, I had on First Things First, which I never watch Fox Sports, but I was up. It starts at 4 something crazy in the morning, right? Pretty early in the morning, unless I was accidentally watching yesterday's, which I don't think I was. Was I watching yesterday's?
I mean, if it's the Nick Wright show, that's at noon.
Okay,
so
I was watching yesterday's First Things First at about 3 in the morning, and they were talking about the Colts and how the Colts went all in and how the Colts could stink next season, right? and some of these teams that are making decisions as if they're going to be good for a very long time. So to your point, if there is a team like that thinks we're good now, right, but they're actually not going to be good for a very long time, or you don't believe they'll be good for a very long time. Some people would say that about when the Kings had the Beam team. That's why people say the most valuable asset is a unrestricted Kings pick, right? That is a part of it as well. So yeah, your Charlottes, whatever the Pelicans have left, they're getting roasted. But teams like that, I hear what you're saying, versus a Detroit who looks to be pretty solid for a while. But again, if you're getting Duran and guys like that along with low-level picks, then it's a little bit different.
Yeah, right. If you're getting Ron Holland, that's a top 5 pick from 2 years ago. So that's going to feel like you're getting a premium pick. So again, it just depends what type of package you want to trade for, which is tough with Domas because like the whole crux of this conversation is, right, if Domas becomes a disgruntled star, could they then flip for Ja Morant? I think if Domas wants to go out, that's the time you just got to get your picks and take your lumps. Like they're going to force your hand.
Don't do the thing again. Don't do the Zach LaVine thing again.
Well, you can't. Like the thing about that is you could trade Domas for Jared Allen and you're still going to suck anyways. So you might as well do the trade package for the picks because no matter what happens, you're going to suck if Domantas Sabonis asks out and you're not going to package him for a player better than Domantas Sabonis.
So the other question that Michael had, we wanted to get to, as far as a trade package for Ja, we did this yesterday, and you can check that out on YouTube, but it would be some version in a perfect way, if it's not Sabonis, obviously, it would be some version of, obviously, Malik Monk would have to be, it's the money, right? So you got to make that money work. If it's Schroeder, I know they got Ty Jerome, but he's injured. If it's Schroeder who's making a decent chunk of change, you just got to make the money work. Schroeder, DeRozan,
Keon.
Yeah, Schroeder, DeRozan, Keon, and they probably are going to want to pick. It ain't going to be 2026 for me. 2027, something like that.
I think it probably would be 26, but you protect it. So like if you end up getting Ja and still stink, you get to keep the pick.
Okay. Well, it better be highly protected.
So,
because, I'm watching.
So that's the curious thing, and we talked about it earlier. The Grizzlies have to decide for themselves. Are we okay getting somebody's fourth best player and complementary pieces in a package for Ja Morant, our second best player? Mm-hmm. They got to ask themselves if they're okay with that. Because if it's the Timberwolves, it's Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham, and a first-round pick, because that's all Minnesota has. So if you're doing that deal, you got to ask yourself, are we okay with that being our only return?
If the Grizzlies lose Ja Morant, would it be a bigger fumble than what the Kings ended up doing with the Beam team? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
This Saturday at 11 a.m. on the next edition of The Travel Guys, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations.
Our special guest is Gary Gerald, the G-Man himself, the ultimate travel guy.
That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Brandon Nunez, who dropped quite the nugget, even though the Kings are playing the Warriors. Quite the nugget.
Well, they played them on Monday.
Yeah, they did. It seems like a very, very long time ago.
Kings dropped the Nuggets, too.
Quite the nugget. About 45 minutes ago, he stopped by to say hello. He's getting ready for the game tonight. By the way, we will be joined by JD, John Dickinson, at 1:30, okay, who's going to have an update, and he's going to tell us if the Warriors are disrespecting the Kings. That's what we need to know. Are the Warriors disrespecting the Kings, or are they actually injured? Because I think it's a little bit of both. I do. I'm not doing a bit here. I do think it's a little bit of both. 916-339-1140 call line, text line. And this is a pretty deep cut here as far as Sam Amick's story is concerned. So I've asked the question, if the Grizzlies lose Ja Morant, would this be a bigger fumble than the Beam team? And everybody, oh my gosh, when the Kings were good, it looked like they were figuring it out, and then they just blew it all up, and they just absolutely imploded, and now they just have Domantas Sabonis, a new coach, Dennis Schroeder, and Zach LaVine, and they got the Sacramento Bulls, right? That's what everybody says. But I will tell you this, man. Simply because of the success that the Grizzlies had, I'm torn. If Ja Morant is gone, would it be a bigger fumble than what the Kings did? The reason I want to say yes is because the Grizzlies went further. The reason I want to say no is because Ja Morant and the off-court stuff and the on-court stuff when he just was unable to be healthy, that might save them, because the Kings, they were what they were. They gave it, 2 years, and then they blew it up. Nobody was chronically injured, right? And I'm just saying, as an organization, the Grizzlies got put in a weird spot, which is now, okay, Grizzlies, you moved Desmond Bane, and now you're trying to tell us for these picks, but now you're trying to tell us that you believe in this core. Why would you? Moving Dillon Brooks is one thing, or letting Dillon Brooks walk is one thing, but why would you move Desmond Bane if you think you're still building something? I think he was a really important piece of the core, and you paid him, but now you're going to tell us that you do believe in Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant and Jalen Wells, a great story, but an upstart second rounder, and Zach Edey.
Scottie Pippen Jr.
I just don't buy it. If you thought you had something, you hold on to Desmond Bane. And I know KCP's a better defender, but I just don't really buy it. So they're caught in a weird spot. Kyle, if they lose Ja Morant, is it a bigger fumble than the Kings and what happened with the Beam team? Even with what Ja did off court and those issues and his injury history, I still feel like the answer is yes. I still feel like if you lose Ja, and I guess it depends on what you get back for Ja, that might be the ... to be continued. But my initial thought is it's a bigger fumble than the Kings because they were better than the Kings. And they had Kyle, they were the youngest team in the NBA. All these dudes, and I know Ja's injuries got in the way, and it was a lot of Desmond Bane, which is why he got paid, but all these dudes were 22, 23 years old, and they were battling it out with the Warriors, saying it's a dynasty. That was what? 3 years ago?
2022 was the Warriors-Grizzlies infamous series that they almost took them down.
I guess the fumble part is what you think about Desmond Bane, right? Because you got a decent bit back, but you were paying Desmond Bane a lot of money. The word fumble means that you got in your own way, and the only way I guess we could say it's a fumble is because maybe we could argue that and this is going a little bit deep here, that the Grizzlies did not do enough to keep Ja on the right track. But I don't even necessarily want to say that because we're all adults here. Even if we separate the off-court stuff with Ja, and it's hard to do that, even on court, the fact that he just couldn't stay healthy, I don't know. I do feel like some of it was more so out of the Grizzlies' hands. The Kings, it was not out of their hands. They did it to themselves. So I don't know if it's a bigger fumble than the Kings. They were better, but also they kind of got left with, well, what are we supposed to do if Ja can't stay healthy?
That was the big thing, right? Like they made bad decisions in the in-between, right? Kind of like the Kings, where the Kings messed up smaller decisions, like letting Dylan Brooks walk and trading for Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
That was not a good choice. Not a good decision. They gave up, I think they gave up Tyus Jones in that deal too. So like moving on from Tyus Jones and Dylan Brooks to bring in Marcus Smart, who was hurt his entire time in Memphis. That was not a good decision. Zach Kleiman said his biggest regret was not picking up Jake LaRavia's team option.
That's a good one.
That's not a good decision by them. And look, they've drafted very well. Cedric Kauser, I think, is going to be really good. We know Jalen Wells, great value pick. Edie. But, like, I think the Kings is a bigger fumble because at least with Memphis, you can talk yourself into, no, we're actually going to be better at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
Because you have Kauser, because you have Wells, because you have Clark, because you have Edie, Jaren Jackson is right now probably better than Domantas Sabonis, even though I think they're kind of in the same tier.
Yeah, they
of
still
player.
own their pick.
They got 4 Orlando picks. Like, you know, I'm just going to throw out a name. Like, if they traded for Tyler Hero and got rid of Ja Morant, I'd look at them and be like, oh, yeah, that team actually could do something. Just because they have that depth of young players and enough point guard play to kind of get by. So, yeah, the Kings feel like more of a fumble because not only did they break it apart, but you imported the Bulls. The Bulls look better, and you look worse.
Yeah, the KC, yes. To your point, I think that's the big one, right? You moved on from Desmond Bane. You got KCP, but you got a bunch of picks. When the Kings made their De'Aaron Fox move, they did not get a bunch of picks.
Yeah, well, they got a couple, and one of them turned into Neat Clifford, and one of them they're just keeping in their back pocket with that 31 Timberwolves pick.
But nothing like Desmond Bane. And that's not even their big. They could still get more. They could still get more if they wanted. So I wanted to say, and I think I might have even tweeted that it was a bigger or would be a bigger fumble than the Kings. But now that we've talked it out, it's probably not true.
Especially because Desmond Bane's not even the quality of player De'Aaron Fox is.
No. Yeah, they got more for him.
Think about it this way. Like, Cedric Kauser, they had to trade up a little bit to get him, but Cedric Kauser was just one.
It's Coward. Is it Coward?
Cower?
Yeah, Coward.
Coward.
I think so.
Cedric Coward was one of their 4 picks that they got for Desmond Bane. And Cedric is looking as good, if not better, than Neat Clifford right now. So
they are the same age. They are both 22. Well, Neat's 23 now.
Yeah, but the same idea, right? Is like they might get 4 Neat Cliffords for Desmond Bane versus the Kings are going to walk away with Zach LaVine and 1 Neat Clifford, and we'll see what happens in 2031 with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it, but I think you're right. I think you're right. 916.
But at least the Kings aren't relocating.
Well, and that leads us to what Sam Amick had to say, and here is more from the Sam Amick banger that dropped not too long ago. Quote, also, it might lead to relocation, Sam Amick outlined in this story. Yet, before we all go running to John Hollinger's trade machine to figure out where Morant might be headed next, let's hit the back button for a moment and acknowledge the fact that this isn't quite as simple as it might seem. For starters, the Grizzlies, like every small market team in the 76-year history of the league, must think long and hard about the prospect of parting ways with the player who is still widely considered to be an elite talent. Add in the fact that they still haven't finalized a lease agreement for FedEx Forum past the 2028-2029 season, with negotiations having been drawn out and the threat of relocation always looming, and you start to understand why this is bigger than just basketball. So, long story short, that might, if they move on from Ja and it doesn't look right and these negotiations continue to float around, moving on from Ja could lose the whole team. It's not that simple, but that's kind of what Sam is alluding to. It definitely wouldn't help, but it would help, Kyle, if you move. And we've seen this happen before. I guess it wouldn't help. It depends, right? Because there was a whole thing with Luka, and that's why Dallas did it. If they move on from Ja and stink and get the number 1 pick and whoever they choose, does that help them, or do they say, great, he's going to look good in Vegas?
I think there's only but so many straws left with the situation. I say that because the Pelicans/Hornets got Chris Paul with the 3rd pick in the draft. He spent 7 years. They immediately got the number 1 pick and landed Anthony Davis. He spent 7 years there. They immediately got the number 1 pick with Zion Williamson. He's about to spend 7 years there and move on. So, you can do that for Memphis, but who's to say the next Debanza or Peterson or whoever just goes through the same cycle as Ja Morant did?
On the other side, a conversation I did not think we'd be having, but I should have always known that we'd be having. Is Russell Westbrook untouchable? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers get a win in New York, 34-24. Christian McCaffrey had another big game, 106 yards rushing. Mac Jones, also a big game. He threw for 235 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the victory. San Francisco with the win improves to 6-3. Upcoming, it's a huge game for the Niners on Sunday. They take on first place LA. Catch the game right here on Sactown Sports 1140, beginning at noon on Sunday.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800 gambler.
Ready to pregame for your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years where aloha is served daily. Located just steps from the arena, whether it's game day or a concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those fresh, delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
You never know who's going to join us, and we are joined right now by Brendan Nunez, who is getting ready for the big game. Nunez! That's right. Brendan Nunez joins us. Brendan, who sent me that text, it was like the bat signal, and now all of a sudden he has appeared when it comes to Domantas Sabonis and Ja Morant. Plenty to talk about. We're about to dive into a 30-minute commercial-free segment, and we do at the top of every hour. But let's start here, Brendan, because this is what I teased. Look, he's obviously not untouchable, but I'm telling you, Brendan, when I watch the Kings play, Russell Westbrook is probably the second most important player on the team right now.
That's healthy?
Yes, I would say so. I mean, obviously, yeah, you got Keegan, but, Keegan ain't playing right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, okay, hold on. So Keegan, Domas, Zach. I see what you're saying to an extent, because Keegan was one of the most irreplaceable guys on the team. And Russ is the only one right now that fills that spot, essentially. Like, he really plays a 4 out there. Offensively, his game might be a little bit different, but he can get on the glass and do that well. He was scoring his butt off last game.
I mean, look, did you see that note? It was, if you take away Russ, and it was either Russ and Levine's threes, something like that. It's just abysmal.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was Keon's threes probably.
Yeah.
The only guys that could shoot. And Russ, we talked about it before, that corner 3 is actually cash. I was laughing a little bit looking at the box score at the end of the game, and I'm like, man, this guy kind of flirted with a triple-double and led the team in scoring.
That's what I'm saying.
All the Russ stands must have looked at that and been like, I told y'all, he is still nice. And, hey, he is good. He definitely is outperforming the minimum contract. And I think that he did that previously in Denver as well. Like, it's, there's a debate there. Hey, would we rather have him or Julian Strother? Is really what it comes down to.
Peyton Watson.
Like the Kings. Would you rather have signed Precious Achiuwa a little while ago or Russell Westbrook? And I'd say that Russ's impact that he's had is going to probably be greater than anything Precious could have or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, A+ free agent signing for whatever that may be worth.
But this is what's funny to me. Obviously, he's not untouchable from a standpoint of the organization. But if they're
literally any standpoint.
No. But hold on. They continue to tell us that they're competing. Based on how they are competing right now, they need him on the floor.
They do need him. Well, now they have Precious Achiuwa.
Okay, Precious ain't making corner threes.
Well, I don't think so. I do not think so. They do need him. They do need him until Keegan Murray comes back, whenever that may be. He's the only thing they got. I actually have liked the lineups of, when they go to that bench group. Sometimes Russ will still be out there, but a lot of times it's DeMar at the 4. And that's where he just fully gets to go into his bag, right? Hey, you got 3-4 minutes here where you're allowed to take every mid-range that you want in the world. And then there's another stretch where Zach is playing at the 4.
And like you're losing out on things defensively here, you're losing out on things on the glass, but those are your other options, right? If we're not rolling out Russell Westbrook at the 4, and I can't believe that we're having this conversation right now.
I'm just saying, but that's how it is when I watch.
It's not your fault. I'm just saying this is a crazy reality that we live in. You know, when Russ was first starting on the team this year, I'm like writing out the lineup, and I'm like, man, Russell Westbrook is starting for the Sacramento Kings in 2025. Like, that reality is just crazy to me, and even more so that what you're saying makes plenty of sense. They desperately need Russell Westbrook right now.
When I watch the game, right, and this is what we always do. If you're watching it with a buddy or a friend or a parent, whoever, that does not follow basketball, and they don't know the lore and the background,
it's always fun.
And you just say, watch this game and tell me what sticks out. They would say, well, that guy's the best player on the team. And they'd be talking about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's a problem to me.
Probably. I think Zach and DeMar would be part of
Sure, and Zach didn't play great last game. I don't know how healthy he was.
Yeah.
But that's, Brendan, that's a problem to me. It's cool. It's a great story for Russ. I've been saying it kind of looks like an audition for a contender, but honestly, I don't think a contender is going to need Russ to do all of this. So that's kind of the push-pull with Russ. I don't think another contender is going to need him to do everything he has to do. So it just is a funny note for the Kings and a funny note for Russ. I mean, he's impressive, but you go to a contender, unless you have an injury, we don't want you to do all that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he was a free agent the whole time. Like, teams had openings. If a contender thought that he was going to help their roster, they probably would have brought him over. But he has to be willing to say yes with whatever that role may be. And that could mean, hey, we're going to, we think you might play, but not so sure.
Yeah.
And it sounded like, based on how long he waited in free agency to take the deal, and the Kings say it was all like, oh, well, they're going to have to move Malik if there's going to be room for Russ. No, Keegan got hurt, and now there's room. You know, so I think there is also an aspect of what does Russ want out of this? And you also get the benefit of, he said, hey, I like that everybody's essentially sleeping on this team. And he's in a low-pressure scenario now.
Yeah.
You know, he balled out in Washington, low-pressure scenario. I think he played fairly well in Denver, but that was so polarizing because they're a championship-caliber team, and everybody's dissecting everything you do. Like, if he had the game that he had last game, and the Kings were trying to win everything imaginable, right? Which they're trying to win games, but actual championship team. I think we'd be really hung up on some of those turnovers.
Sure.
He had, 6 turnovers?
Six.
He was not perfect. You know, it was still very much the Russ experience where, man, what a board. And then he's pushing the pace.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Where did that ball go?
Yeah. Russ, we don't need you. Hey.
Like, oh, we're taking a leading midi right now, huh? Yeah. So it is still the Russell Westbrook experience.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting you're getting everything out of it.
Well, you know what's funny? As you were talking, I was thinking, and maybe it sounds silly, and we've had a couple people on the show, and it's, hey, Russell Westbrook, is he doing anything? And I know when we had Michael Scotto on, he said, hey, the one person that teams are kind of monitoring right now on the Kings is Zach LaVine. Now, I know last week, now it's a very young season. Last week, Sam Amick had said, I don't know anybody that's interested, but yeah, normal teams are just trying to feel out who they have. So teams are kind of monitoring what Zach LaVine is doing. What's funny about what you're saying, Brendan, about Russell Westbrook is over here we can say, hey, Russ is outplaying his contract. But to your point, he's not doing anything that the rest of the league knows that he can't do.
Right.
So if you were to ask a GM, hey, what do you think about what Russ is doing on the Kings? Let me see. Well, they're letting him run wild. They're losing games, and he's turning the ball over. Yeah, I mean, Russ will be able to do that until he's 75. You know what I mean? But that doesn't help enter team name, right? And what we're trying to do. So what Russ is doing, it's a weird situation because that's what the Kings love to do, put themselves in weird situations where he is outplaying his contract, but I don't know if any team, again, without injury, and the Rockets can't do it because they have no money, but even the Rockets, it's, hey, Ahmad Thompson's going to bring the ball up a little bit.
Right.
You know, KD's going to bring the ball up a little bit. We don't need you to do all that. And I guess my point is, I don't know if I should be happy for Russ, and hey, we love Russ on this show, but it's also kind of an indictment on the Kings and what they've attempted to create.
For sure. I think Houston's another one of those spots where it could have made sense, right? But Russ is his strengths. He's such a unique player at this point in his career. He is, I guess, a point guard, but really more of a 3-4 probably. Like, helps on the glass, And you probably want the ball in his hands a little bit offensively. He's able to help push the pace, but that could take away from some other guys, to your point with Houston. The Kings need it. The Kings need playmaking. They're getting that from Russ. They need a guy that can guard fours. They're getting that from Russ. And they need a rebounder. And they're getting that from Russ. And there's very few guys that do all of that, specifically on a minimum contract.
So, because the Kings have so many holes, it is the perfect spot for Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook somehow is the perfect addition to the Sacramento Kings. Like, really, his strengths are their weaknesses or their flaws that they need to be cleaned up.
And he's shooting, and they ain't got no three-point shooters.
He is definitely letting it fly. Yeah, the spacing is really bad. I keep being worried about the spacing, but then I'm watching them drop 120. Like, it's nothing.
But they're losing.
So, they are losing. They also have been competitive in these games. I told you they'd beat one of Denver or Milwaukee, by the way.
Sure. They got one.
I was sweating that one out.
No, they got one. They got one, and now they'll have an opportunity. I said go 3-2 over these next 5. They're now 1-1, and they have an opportunity. Oh no, Kyle, I wasn't counting that Bucks game. It's the new start. It was the Nuggets game. So they're 0-1.
They'd have to go 3-1.
Yes.
Over the next 4 to get to 3-2.
But you are going to get, and I know they hate to accept the gifts from the basketball gods. They are going to get a Warriors team that has no Steph Curry, most likely no Jimmy Butler, and probably no Draymond, because why would Draymond play with those two guys not playing?
Did you see that Zach and Domas are questionable as well?
Domas with the rib cage contusion, and Zach gets more soreness.
Low back soreness.
So people were trying to get on, and I'm glad you brought this up. So people were trying to get on Zach LaVine. There are a couple notes, and he's been notably better on defense. Last game, he looked off. He couldn't hold on to the basketball.
Yeah.
He was getting some bad calls, and there was a couple plays where, and he was on the injury report with that soreness. He missed a shot and then just didn't get back on defense. And people just love to roast Zach LaVine, so they were roasting Zach LaVine. But he probably is not feeling very healthy right now.
I would guess not. He was pretty sick, for what it's worth. Like, when he was questionable for illness for, 3-4 games in a row, this started before they left on the road. And we talked to him, and, you could see it on his face even. Yeah. He's pretty red, definitely was sick, and now there's seeming to be some low back soreness. But, yeah, I mean, he just looked off in that game. Every once in a while, guy's going to have one of those, and you hope that injuries don't continue to creep up throughout the course of this year. But Zach's been balling, and, I'm willing to just forgive one of those games.
That's how I felt.
He had a couple looks at the end of that one that could have kept it close, and really made it a free throw battle down the stretch, and maybe the Kings don't end up winning it, but he had a couple good looks in Denver, and the Kings as a whole could not shoot from 3. That certainly hurts when your only 3-point shooter in the starting lineup specifically is just having an off night, and that's not because Davion Mitchell's guarding him.
Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, I mean, it's something to monitor for Zach just because of the injury concern, but back soreness, I'm not that worried about it. And I would just credit last game to, maybe this was bothering him. Maybe he was still at the end of a sickness, but just an off game. And that's going to happen every once in a while for a guy that was putting up 30 every game, it felt like.
Yeah, and we're, of course, going to monitor that situation. We are going to talk about the Ja stuff and the text that you sent me. But real quick, I wanted to ask a couple, I know we just had you on for Roundtable, but a couple more games have passed. I'm still, and he had a good game, and I don't want to come off like a hater, but I'm just still not terribly impressed by Dennis Schroeder, and I don't know, have you swayed on that? Is he bringing to the team what you thought? He had 8-9 assists against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
He had a ton of assists, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I haven't walked away from one game man, I'm glad that they have Dennis Schroeder.
There's been a couple, and I don't remember quite which one, but he had a 20 ball in one of them, and there's moments where he's the one where I feel like the spacing probably hurts the most.
Yeah, and he's shooting them. He's shooting them.
He's still going to, because his game is getting downhill and getting to the basket, and a lot of times that is a tough thing to do on this Kings roster, where again 3 of the other starters alongside you are not shooters, and I don't think he has that chemistry with Domas yet. I think we're starting to see it develop a little bit more these last couple games. I think that's the step that I'm waiting to see, where, Malik comes in the game and right away it's hey, there's that Domas pick and roll and setting up the big man easily to finish it around the rim. I think Dennis will continue to develop that chemistry a little bit, the same way that it took Zach time. It takes everybody a little bit of time to learn how to play with Domas, essentially. But defensively, he's done I think, about what you would expect, guarding point of attack and setting the tone a little bit there. Maybe not 94 feet, but I think that's a team.
What happened
that's
to
that?
That's
a team thing, man.
What happened
It felt like
to that?
after a couple preseason games, they were talking. Like, they played Toronto game 1, and they were like, yeah, that was just a bad matchup for it. I was like, the Raptors?
They know what you ate for breakfast.
No,
the Raptors?
Don't. Yeah. What happened to that?
I mean,
that
Brennan,
one's out the window.
We decided that's number 1 offense in the NBA, Toronto Raptors.
Hey, it might be. You never know.
It's not, but we're
It's
going to
not.
believe it is.
No.
Yeah, they were that night.
They were that night.
They
but
were that night.
yeah, I mean, I think Dennis has been about as advertised, including there being some offensive struggles because he's trying to get to the basket and there's just really bad spacing, but he's still going to throw them up, and sometimes they're ugly as heck. The jumper does look broken, but I think that was already the case. So about what you would expect, which includes being kind of a funky fit.
Okay, now as you bring up Domantas Sabonis, you sent me a text message. I guess they're just,
I did.
I guess they're just, are they still text messages now? I guess an iMessage, if you will.
Text.
That sounds weird. Just say a message,
God,
a
you're
text.
old. Yeah.
What do
Just
you
stick
say?
with text messages.
Okay, well
Send me a
that's the
text.
OG. Yeah, you sent me a text.
Yeah.
Blue bubble.
Sent me an IM.
Yeah. You sent me a.
Well, IM is something
You
different.
sent me a WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
And
hit up your AOL.
hey, ATAS321.
Oh.
Mine. You sent me a message. Okay.
What does that even mean?
We'll talk about
It's
it.
his
at a
AOL
different time.
handle.
What's AOL?
We'll talk about it at a different time.
Damn, I'm really a couple years older than you, Kyle.
So you sent me this message, and you said Domas might become disgruntled. Brendan, and you're not saying that he will. You're saying, hey, it's possible. But Brendan, I'm a bit confused. We know what went down last season with Mike, with De'Aaron Fox. We don't need to drag all that back up to the surface. You got your coach. You got a point guard. You got your wine. It's it's your team now. How do you become disgruntled in that situation this quickly? I guess is the point. This quickly.
Yeah, I think just to be clear, I'm not saying that he is or anything like that. I'm just pointing out that, last year there were reports of Domas is going to feel this thing out.
Yeah.
And see how it all goes, and maybe he's going to end up wanting to go somewhere else in the offseason. And I just think that while everything you said is true, it seems like he got the coach that he wanted in the moment. That doesn't mean that his feelings couldn't change. Like, say that his thoughts have developed and thinks that, hey, maybe Doug isn't great. I don't know, but I don't think anybody's out there like, oh, Doug's a phenomenal coach necessarily.
Well,
it's early.
Well, there's a difference, right? It's the substitute teacher thing versus when they're actually
Did he
your
want Doug
teacher.
or did he not want Mike? You know what I mean?
That, and also Doug being his personal coach is a completely different relationship than now Doug is the head honcho.
100%.
And I don't know how that transition has worked out or not worked out. I do not know that.
Yeah. And I think you got your point guard thing. I mean, I don't know how much Domas was involved in that process. You know what I mean? And I don't know that he expects to be or anything like that, but I just think that the Kings are probably not going to have a good year.
Right.
I think that a lot of us are on that page, and that their star player that previously was talked about, hey, I want to feel out how this thing goes, probably not going to be happy with how this year goes. Right. It's just that's just where my mind goes, is that you already were on the fence a little bit. I don't expect this year to go well. So what's that going to mean? Domas still in his prime. If you were going to request something, I think now would be the time to do it rather than, hey, I'm going to just wait till I hit free agency, because really, I mean, do you think the Kings are going somewhere? Like, if I'm Domas and I'm trying to get as much out of my career as possible, again, I'm just putting myself in his shoes rather than speaking for him or anything like that.
Yeah.
I probably want to go somewhere else, And I think that goes for damn near everybody on the team.
Yeah.
To be honest. So just was pointing out from the standpoint of when you're reading the John Morant report and Mark Spears says maybe it's for another disgruntled star, my first thought goes to Domas when it comes to the Kings. Like Zach could be that, DeMar could be that, but I just think Domas has the most value. And as you guys mentioned, from Memphis' standpoint, there's very few guys that as a 4 are the ideal complementary fit next to Domas, right? And I think I mentioned this on the roundtable or last time I was in here, is that Jaren is one of those guys. Chet is one of those guys. I know OKC was interested in Domas before they got Hartenstein. And ironically, maybe Miles Turner feels like one of those guys, but that's been debunked. You know?
Well, yeah, I guess.
They didn't have great guards on that team or
anything. Did you see that, brother? 3 rebounds?
Yeah.
Miles Turner?
Pretty crazy.
It's almost like somebody has said, hey, bad things will happen to you if you rebound the basketball.
Jaren is better than him?
Miles Turner?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure,
Because of
right?
the depoy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have similar traits. Like
Yeah,
Jaren
like
is a real bad rebounder.
No, he don't like to rebound either.
You know, so part of me wonders if how the experiment with Miles didn't work out great makes people question that. But it's just one of those scenarios where, again, I think there's very few guys that they're ideal for next to Domas. And I think Memphis has one of those. And Domas is a guy that was already questioning how he felt about future of this organization. I don't think they're going to be great this year.
Yeah.
So just kind of connecting some dots.
What do you think? Let's take it to the sidelines now. How in the world are they going to evaluate Doug Christie? Like Kyle and I yesterday were talking about coaches that get stuck in the tank and how Mark Daigneault powered through because they got SGA and that turned things around. But Jordi Fernandez might not be that lucky, as he's saying, I'm trying to get the guys to play hard. You just feel bad for Jordi. You have to say yes to these situations. Kyle kind of argued that Jordi didn't have to say yes, but obviously Doug did. You're not going to say, no, send me back to the bench. You're just not going to do that. But I have no clue how they're going to evaluate Doug Christie after this season.
I would agree. And I think, unfortunately, my answer for the most part is that I don't know that they're going to be able to fairly evaluate him. Like, the contract they gave him that The Athletic put out doesn't express much faith in him, and it feels more like hey, we just want to try this.
But that's so weird because we did the thing where he makes it through 2 coaching changes. Essentially, they tell Mike Brown, this dude's going to be on your staff. Felt like they were preparing him for this moment, but now all of a sudden, I don't know if they're getting buyer's remorse. I mean, what happened there? They leapfrogged him 4 seats to make him the interim coach over the other guys. They sent Luke Laux to Dave School, Florida State. I mean, what happened?
There was a lot that happened, first of all. As you know, last year was just straight chaos, and I think they wanted a reset. The whole idea of this year is culture, right? And what does it mean to be a Sacramento King? It means to be a Doug Christie is essentially what they are trying to say, right? And so who better to lead that than the guy himself? Like, I think that is a lot of the logic here. You're also trying to see what Doug can bring. Like, it's gonna be a learning process for him as well, obviously. And so I guess maybe that's where they evaluate him, is how much better are you able to get throughout these 2 years. But to be honest with you, it feels inevitable that there's a new coach in 2 years.
That's so weird.
I just don't see how Doug does a good enough job with this roster, and he's dealt a bad hand.
That's what I'm saying.
And he has the lack of experience. Like, it is a poor formula that I don't see how it goes well. And maybe he'll survive through a roster change, right? Because if things don't go well, this isn't a OKC, right? You mentioned Mark Daigneault. Sam Presti is as patient as it gets, and their ownership is as patient as it gets. The Kings have shown to not be that, and in fact be on the polar opposite. So something goes wrong. It's been a long enough stretch of this team being booty. They want to switch something up. Is it going to be the roster or the coach? Because it's one of the two, right? And so if Doug survives that first roster change, then maybe he gets longer with that next group. But I just struggle to see how within the next 2 years that he has on this deal, he's going to be able to prove enough with a extremely flawed roster that he deserves to stick around.
Out of all the things that Sacramento and the Kings have been roasted about, to me, that would be pretty high on the list. To move on from Mike Brown, the way you moved on from Mike Brown, leapfrog somebody like Doug, who you believe to be this guy that you have essentially, I don't want to say forced, but you have encouraged coaches to put on their staff, and then give him a team of a bunch of older players that are already stuck in their ways, and then say you didn't do a good enough job. That, to me, would be the typical Sacramento Kings that everybody roasts. Now, the actual collection of talent, and when the Zach Lowe's of the world want to roast, and I try to defend the Kings, that's one thing. But if they were to not give Doug Christie enough leeway with this ridiculously random roster that they put together, that to me would be malpractice. Simply because you waited that would be, that's what people are talking about the San Francisco thing or the Sacramento thing, because you did all of this, right? You stashed Doug and you had all this faith in Doug. You gave him the Land of Misfit Toys roster with an average age of 32.6, and that's exactly what it is, by the way. And Jesus. It's not going to, and I guess it's slightly older now because Precious is a little older than Isaac Jones, and then you're going to move on from him because he didn't do good enough when this team was slated, according to Vegas, at 34.5 wins. That to me, and look, there's not even a question in there, Brendan. That's just ridiculous. And I'm not saying I thought Doug was going to be a great coach. I don't know. But the process, and we've heard this word before, the decision and the process doesn't make sense. And I think it starts with, when you bring in a new GM and you make him keep Doug, that's the issue. They just honestly, and I can't say it the way the saying goes on FCC airwaves, they did things too soon when it came to Doug. Yeah. They did things too soon. They should have waited a little bit longer with Doug, because now you're in a weird spot.
Can I really tinfoil hat this whole thing?
Oh, yes.
I know this is, kind of your thing.
Yes.
If I'm Scott Perry and I am taking over a roster and I'm told that, hey, you have to have this head coach.
Okay.
I don't really want to do that, but I say yes. Then I probably don't do him very many favors throughout the rest of his contract. You know what I mean? I'm not going all in on this coach.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't help that the roster already is set up that they really have a 2-year just waiting period. But if Scott wants his own guy, then you don't throw Doug a bone. You know what I mean? You don't make it easier on him, and I don't think they did this offseason. Again, I think that's mainly has to do with the roster as well, but it's belief in the entire team that you have currently, right? And I don't know how high that is, because I mean, just look at the group, right? Like you had conversations with probably a lot of the same people I did at Summer League, and everybody was like, "What in the world is this team doing?"
Yeah, somebody said, Sam Quinn said, it's as if an 11-year-old auto drafted on NBA 2K.
Actually, it really is. And they were like, "Hey, let me go to the all-time classic Kings roster. I'm gonna pick one of these guys to be my head coach." You know, one of them's already been GM. The other one's head coach at Sac State. Another one's on the coaching staff underneath my head coach.
Do you think Perry would have a guy, or just, I know he's not my guy?
I mean, I think that people will become available. Like head coaches, the turnover is crazy nowadays. Like in 2 years, I don't know that he would take the job, but could Steve Kerr be available?
He's going to be done.
I think he's done. I think after the way the Kings did Mike Brown, I would be shocked if Steve Kerr came to Sacramento.
There's always a Gundy.
There's always
a Van Gundy.
There's always these sort of guys out there.
Mike Gundy?
Right? Like, I don't think if Cleveland gets backwards, could Kenny Atkinson become available again? Cleveland's playing great right now. But I'm just saying things change so fast. Jordy, right? So I think things change very quickly, and it wouldn't surprise me, Scott and his Rolodex of people, that eventually he thought it was better to go in another direction.
What was the term? Incessantly ringing his phone?
Yes, about the job. Yeah.
So, we're not...
He was incessantly not picking up the phone.
So we're not talking the S word, no sabotage, but maybe, the motivation might not be there
That's a good way to put it.
To blow it up. You don't feel like doing something, right? Your dad, hey, Allen, can you grab the remote? You kind of want him to just grab it. You just walk a little slow.
Be like, I already know what you're going to play.
Yeah, you're not rushing to go grab the remote. Just go get it yourself, dude.
Yeah, I think that's essentially it, is that it wouldn't surprise me. And again, this is Big Ten foil hat.
Yeah.
But if Scott was looking at the roster, including the coaching staff, and being like, hey, we are just in a waiting period right now. Because that's certainly what it feels like.
Well, that's not great for the fans, but it is great for the listeners whenever Brendan Nunez, and the viewers whenever Brendan Nunez joins the show. That's why you got to tune in. You never know what Brendan's going to say. Brendan, thank you so much. We're way over time, but it was worth it on the other side. Let's keep the conversation going. We have whether or not it's still a rivalry between the Kings and the Warriors, and why the Kings are like a bad flow chart. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
This holiday season, Target has your back with irresistibly cool gifts for everyone on your list. For the trendsetter, start with affordable beauty kits and gift sets. Need something the whole fam will love? Grab snuggly matching fits in every size and style. And for the thrill seekers, don't forget the hottest toys and tech of the season. Target's got you covered with the best deals for endless fun. Shop in store or online. And step into the holidays with Target. Restrictions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at revivemenshealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Great stuff from Brendan. He gave us plenty to talk about today. We are an hour away from John Dickinson, KMBR. He will be joining us to talk Warriors. By that time, we'll probably have more of a idea on Draymond, and he ain't playing, man.
If Slater's saying he's iffy, it's not even an injury. He just doesn't want to come.
It's just because on the rundown, You just have questionable, and it's just parentheses. There's nothing in the parentheses.
The only thing I have is Slater saying he's iffy.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny because I bet you Steph, because he's sick, he's not going to make the drive over. Jimmy might make the drive over, even though he's not going to play. Do you think Draymond's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to stay here.
I got this podcast. That's what.
I'm just going to call Dak a bum.
Yeah. Yeah, and then one of the more random podcasts. Who wakes up in the morning? It's like, again, the Dave Chappelle thing. Oh my goodness, what a disaster! Where is Ja? I need to know what Ja Rule thinks. Who wakes up? And I get your money, Draymond. And Jordan Schultz. I don't know if he's breaking news on that show. He's kind of a self-made guy, as far as I know. I know he does stuff with Fox Sports, but it's a football show with Jordan Schultz, who brings the credibility, and Draymond, who is waking up in the morning. And I know Draymond's a good personality, but who's waking up in the morning? Man, I really want to know what Draymond thinks about Dak Prescott.
First of all, on Jordan Schultz, self-made son of the Starbucks CEO is a crazy.
Is he Nepo?
He's Howard Schultz's kid, and he decided.
See, I didn't see him. He's got no affiliation on his ex, so I thought, okay, this dude just kind of built some relationship. Good for him.
He's the son of a billionaire and decided if I can do anything in the world, I want to break news about Jalen Phillips getting traded to the Eagles.
Hold on now. Now, let's not get sidetracked. But what are the rules on Nepo if you're doing something different? If he was working within Starbucks, that's clean Nepo. That's obvious. What do you do if you have a lot of it's like a Nepo cousin when you have a bunch of opportunities because money is at your fingertips, but you're not doing what your parents or whoever did. That is the successful start. So I don't know. Did that count the same way?
I look at it as other people could not. He got an advantage in the sense he didn't have to go to work. All he could do was just forge relationships with NFL people.
Yeah.
Like other people who want to become NFL insiders also have to get jobs.
So I said this too, and I probably shouldn't have said this out loud, but a buddy he's not dating this woman anymore, but he was dating this woman, and she said, yeah, she was a teacher. And her brother, and my buddy kept on bragging that she was, her family was pretty well off, upstate New York. And he had already told me this before we hung out. It was a double date situation. And he had already told me this. So I already have it in my mind. And then we're just talking back and forth. And she happens to say that her brother is a filmmaker, right? And then I say out loud, oh, so you guys are pretty well off. Because if you're a filmmaker, I mean, who has time, right? When you got to pay bills, and I get it. I'm just kidding. Obviously, people sacrifice.
Yes.
But most of the time, hey, I don't have to worry about bills, so I'm going to make these films.
Exactly. That's the Jordan Schultz Nepo.
So is that Nepo?
Yes, because you don't have to. I guess it's more trust fund baby than it is Nepo.
Yes.
I guess, yeah. So trust fund baby Jordan Schultz is decided if I could do anything in the world, I want to be on a podcast where Draymond Green calls Dak a bum. That's what if I could do anything in the world with my billions of dollars, that's what I want to do.
So it's a Nepo cousin, we would say. It's Nepo, but it's not straight up, my dad does this, so I'm going to do this or whatever it is. Because you could even say the same thing about what's funny is the Kirk Lacob thing, right? Because Joe Lacob didn't make he made a lot of money from being the owner, but it's not as if he came up in basketball. But Kirk Lacob is using that opportunity to say, hey, now I'm smart at basketball.
Kirk Lacob is Nepo because that's how he got his foot in the door, was because he was working for the team that his father owned.
Oh, Draymond. I love hearing what Draymond has to say about football.
Also, speaking of football, we've got a little bit of drama going on.
Okay.
We just got breaking news in the commercial break that Kyler Murray's going on IR for the Cardinals. Now, Windhorst fingers. Kyler Murray was benched yesterday. Jonathan Gannon went on with Burns and Gambo on our sister station and said, even if Kyler Murray were healthy, Kyler Murray would not be starting this week. It was Jacoby Brissett's job. Mm-hmm. Now, Kyler almost came back last week, but now all of a sudden is going on IR. Is Kyler Murray potentially taking himself off the Cardinals to preserve his trade value when he comes available this summer or spring or whatever it is? Conspiracy theories, Windhorse thrown around right now.
That's interesting. Kyler Murray, and I think we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I just have up the numbers, Kyle. I mean, got to be the most confusing guy, right? I mean, in my heart of hearts, two teams that have left Oakland, in my heart of hearts, it would be very Raiders-esque to do something stupid like this. He makes, looking at the averages, and I know he got paid, 3 years ago? So that it looks a little bit better now, but getting $46 million a year, a total guaranteed, the guarantee wasn't that high, $160 million, and he's an unrestricted free agent in 2029, so still about 4 years left on that deal. I can't sign up for that, but feels like something the Raiders are going to do. Who's another team that might do it?
The Saints. Saints definitely are going to do that.
Hey, Kyler in a dome.
And Kyler in a dome seems to work out.
Isn't he already in a dome in Arizona?
Yeah, technically. But Kyler, there's a whole thing like he went undefeated at Jerry World and playing at Oklahoma. Anyways, by the way, I know it looks kind of bad, but most of the guaranteed money is done on the contract. So there's it'd be easier for them to move off of him at the end of the season. I think they might even save some money if they traded him. They would save $35 million in cap this year, or they could spread it out over 2 years. So there's not a lot of dead money left on the deal.
Dwayne Baker has this to say, and I think there's only one way he does it, because I've seen a couple people bring this up. Dwayne Baker says, Kyler is going to play for the A's. Look, I don't know Kyler Murray. I don't know what his actual motivation is to be a star. I know he's got that great clip where he says, people don't think I work hard at my size, everything that was kind of stacked against me. Now, he does have, I don't want to say Olympic speed, but a shade under Olympic speed. And he's got a cannon for an arm even at his size. But Kyler Murray just saying, to say I don't study playbooks or do anything like that, I would not have been able to do what I've done in my career if I didn't work hard. Now, to be fair, I do think Kyler, and I'm not trying to debunk you, but I do think you could get away with that based on your skill set in high school and college. I do think you could, and then it would catch up to you in the NFL. But that's besides the point. As far as what Dwayne is saying, the only way Kyler Murray even thinks about going to baseball is if he says, and I think they might do it, Kyle, because you got to put butts in the seats. If he wants to play for the A's, I think he would go to John Fisher and just say, I am not doing any type of, not even a Michael Jordan, hey, let's get you in the minors. If Kyler Murray would want to do it, and it sounds like too many games for him, he can't even make it to November in the NFL season. But if he would want to do it, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm saying, look at how much money I made. If I'm going to play baseball, I'm going straight to Major League Baseball. I'm not doing no type of minor league. I'm too old for that. You know I'm not doing that. So if you want me, I'll do it. But there's not going to be any type of minor league anything.
Pretty sure that ship has sailed, considering Kyler Murray probably has not picked up a baseball bat since 2018.
And you know what the crazy thing is? I don't think he's good enough. Look, the A's have terrible pitching, but position player-wise, I think the A's would say, we're good.
Yeah, Denzel Clark's probably a better center fielder.
We're actually good. There's a team out there. Go to the Marlins. Go to the Marlins. And I always say the Marlins. They're really not that bad.
Man.
But I don't know.
White Sox.
But then he would say, well, what am I doing?
Yeah. What is he doing coming to Sacramento and playing in a AAA park?
There's a story there. There's a story there. On the other side, we discuss the flow chart with the Kings, what they can do and what they are unable to do. And is it still a rivalry? Chime on in. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Ready to pregame for your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years where aloha is served daily. Located just steps from the arena, whether it's game day or a concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those fresh, delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. All of them top quality, hand-selected by their general manager, Chuck Dean. You can see for yourself their huge selection at SacSuperstore.com with the lowest prices and the best car buying experiences anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m., we will be joined by JD, John Dickinson of KNBR. We might sneak in a question about Tony Vitello as well, because they are the home of the San Francisco Giants. That's coming up in about 45 minutes, okay? We're going to be joined by JD at 1:30. So here is the flow chart that I've been breaking down here, all right? If you looked at the Kings like a flow chart, they don't really do anything that matches. If you aren't big, you play fast. They don't really play fast. If you can't shoot, you dominate the paint. They don't dominate the paint. If you can't shoot threes, you defend at a high level. They don't defend at a high level. There is no real path for them to achieve, I think, the success in their minds they deep down would want to achieve, because they don't have a matching identity. They don't have an identity, right? Normally, there is a path that you take and you say, hey, this is the type of team I am, or this is the type of team we are. And sometimes you're just better than the typical version of that team. There are teams that have copied there are teams that have copied other teams, right? You had the Rockets who kind of one-upped. I know the Warriors were shooting threes. Then the Rockets said, well, we're only going to shoot threes. And you had the D'Antoni thing. Every D'Antoni team, you knew defense was going to be a bit optional, and they were going to chuck up threes, right? There were a lot of different versions of teams out there. You have and this goes back to our, what was his name, Schmitz? I gotta still look that up, Kyle, as far as the different types of offenses. But you have the heliocentric, where it's Luka or it's Ja, and they're going to hold the ball 70% of the time, and it's not really like that on the Lakers now, but they're going to hold the ball 70% of the time, and everybody else is just going to figure it out, right? Just different models, okay? The defensive teams that make sure we're going to take care of it on the defensive end, and offensively, it's going to be a bit rough at times. That's in all of sports. I don't even know where you would try to put the Sacramento Kings on the flow chart, right? Because I think the Cavs, to me, are a bit of a hybrid, but you have the star, you have some good defense down low, you have the budding star in Mobley, but, and you are pretty well-rounded. The Thunder, they're well-rounded, but it's still heliocentric. It's still Shea's room, or Shea's world. Everybody else is just also really good. So you have different versions of these teams, and I would say the Celtics, right? The best version of kind of the Cavs, just a better version of the Cavs. We got defense. We chuck up threes. We play fast. That's what we do. I don't even know where, and the Warriors are still the Warriors, not really heliocentric. They've been doing the same thing. Warriors are kind of a side case because they've had Steph and Draymond for so long. But you have the Magic that are trying to do the heliocentric thing with Paolo Banchero, along with Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. So you see the models out there, right? And the Blazers, they're the defensive team where maybe they'll get the budding star with Denny Avdia. I don't even know what, and like you said, Kyle, like the failed unction, I guess that's what the Kings are trying to do, but we haven't even seen a successful unction because the Clippers weren't that old last season. They're older now. So give me a better version, and I'll throw Ant in there for another heliocentric, and heliocentric just meaning focused on one guy and then he disperses the basketball. Can you give me a better version of the Kings? Can you even come up with something like that this season?
I'm trying to. I mean,
is it the Clippers now?
You're saying what is the better version of what the Kings are attempting to do?
Yes.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's the Clippers right now because, shocker, Kawhi isn't playing. But
yeah, and their bench is still way better than the Kings. But this might be the closest you get.
I mean, their bench is struggling to score right now.
Yeah, that's because John Collins needs his own wave.
Yeah,
he needs to come on home.
What did we? Again, this is tough because Tyler Hero's hurt. But like Miami is kind of a version of this. They're not really playing a flow offense.
No, they're playing team. Yeah, you're not playing a flow offense, but you're also not heliocentric because you don't have a player good enough to be heliocentric.
I mean, they're kind of doing what the Clippers did last year, which is, hey, Norm Powell, can you carry us until our guys come back?
Yeah. Knicks, another one focused on, obviously, Jalen Brunson, but they're being more flowy as well. I'm just looking here at these teams, Kyle.
But also the Knicks are a really high-level offense. Like, they are.
The Bucks have their guy.
I don't know what to do with the Bucks.
The Hawks play too good a defense.
I'm trying to think of like a group.
Is it the Rockets? It's the Rockets. No, it's the Rockets.
I don't think so.
It's the Rockets. KD, better version of Kevin Durant. Amen Thompson. KD, a better version of DeMar DeRozan. Amen Thompson is, a kind of a Keegan hybrid type deal. He's a starter. Then obviously they don't have a point guard, but if they had Fred VanVleet, he'd be a better version of Dennis Schroeder. And then you have Şengün, who is, I won't take anybody off, Him and Domantas Sabonis, just as good.
And then Jabari and Keegan.
Yeah,
I guess you're right. Yeah, the Rockets are now kind of trying the same thing the Kings are trying.
Because they're not heliocentric, because it's not KD all day, because it can't be because he's 39 years old.
Yeah. And I guess it's not that either for DeRozan, if KD is a better version of DeRozan, too. I mean, DeRozan's not the heliocentric of this offense.
What's funny is it used to be the Nuggets. That was the whole let's follow the Nuggets model thing when Jordy was here, but I don't think Domantas Sabonis touches the ball enough to be considered a diet Nuggets anymore.
No, it's not a diet Nuggets for sure. I mean, that only worked because you had De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, it's not I think it's the Rockets.
So you're saying the Rockets are the aspiration of, well, the Clippers are the aspiration, but the Rockets are the aspiration of what you want your team to be.
No. I'm just saying that's the only team kind of doing what my point is that's the only team kind of doing what the Kings are doing, but the difference is they have, and I know DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer, but they have somebody that's still playing at a true all-NBA level. None of this fringe sneak into the third team. No, Kevin Durant, all-NBA. They have Amen Thompson, all-defense. Keegan Murray, good defender. Keon Ellis, good defender. Not all-NBA, as far as first team or whatever, all-defense. Şengün, him and Domantas Sabonis are at best canceling out. Some people would say Şengün will be better, and so on and so forth. So they're just a better version. That's the only team. So if you're looking around saying, who could the Kings be on a good day? And I guess they don't have a Zach LaVine type, but who could the Kings be on their best day? You could compare them to the Rockets, but the Rockets got Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant is kind of the great equalizer. Although even the Rockets with Jalen Green is kind of a Zach LaVine. So maybe it's like the Rockets before trading for Kevin Durant.
With bad defense, because the Rockets, they were the 2 seed.
Yeah, the interim beam team is the washed version of what the Rockets were doing, because the Rockets were all young and the Rockets all had not breakout seasons, but like Jalen Green was scoring 24 points a game. Şengün was an all-star.
And they were ready to be 4-0. They could have been 4-0, and they were ready to be 4-0. The Kings could have been 4-0, but they weren't ready to be 4-0.
And guess what happened to the Rockets last year? Out in 7 games in the first round against the Warriors.
Right. So
the best case scenario of this Sacramento Kings team is getting bounced in 7 against the Warriors, which is where they were with the beam team.
Literally. But after last season, the Rockets said, we're going to go get Kevin Durant. After the beam team season, the Kings decided to just run it back with Harrison Barnes.
They tried to get Pascal Siakam, but Siakam said no.
That was later. That was later, though.
That was 2024.
No. But that was during the season when it all came out that he didn't think he could play with Domantas Sabonis. And he said, I'm saying they got Kevin Durant in the offseason. Yes. Hey, we just got bounced by the Warriors. We think we were a better team, but there were just a couple of notes. Let's go get Kevin Durant.
Well, I mean, in their defense, Allen, they did get Sasha Vezenkov.
I'm just looking here at their line. Yes, they did. They did.
I mean, that way, you just skipped right past that joke and then processed what I had said.
Because it's Sasha. I'm looking here, though. Tari Eason playing 30 minutes. They just beat the Mavs. He had 4 points. He had 15 points, 4 rebounds. Kevin Durant, he's still playing. They still got him out there playing 38 minutes, though.
Same with DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, 38 minutes, 21 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Şengün, 40 minutes, 26 points, 11 rebounds. Amen Thompson, 27 points, and he can't shoot. It is incredible how he does it. Incredible. And then you got Josh Okogie, 2 points.
Hey, Josh Okogie is a fine player.
And the other thing is they decided to get bigger. The Kings got smaller. They got 3 centers, Clint Capella and Steven Adams.
Yeah, and Şengün plays the 4, which is what people yell Sabonis should do.
And Şengün has come back, and he's a different player.
So, sorry, they're doing the same model as the Kings, but they decided to get giant and young, as opposed to the Kings got small and old.
So, the flow chart is not flowing right now, but that could all change tonight as the Kings take on a shorthanded Warriors team. How shorthanded we're still going to see, but Steph ain't playing. So that's really all you got to know. On the other side, let's kick off the Kings-Warriors preview with an injury report and get you ready. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Some nights just call for something better. A place above the noise, where the skyline glows and the energy feels effortless. That place is Revival at the Sawyer, Sacramento's rooftop escape. All November long, show your Sactown Sports app and enjoy buy one, get one half off beverages. Whether it's golden hour with friends or late night laughter under the city lights, Revival's the place to see and the place to be seen. Revival at the Sawyer, the view, the vibe, the moment. Reserve your table at RevivalSacramento.com. Offer valid once per visit per person.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
One more hour with you. It's been a fun one as we got some good information from Brendan Nunez and just some good conversation, I should say, opinions, if you will. And the reality is a lot is going to happen this season. A lot is going to happen this season. And, just when you say, I've been talking to some of the sales crew downstairs. They do a great job for us, outstanding job for us. We love them so very much. And having conversations with them just as far as what this season will bring. And I'll normally say, it's hard to think that this season is going to be crazier than last season with everything that happened. But then you sit there and you talk to Brendan Nunez and you just think, you really never know. And some of the stuff that Brendan will say off air that I cannot say on air yet, ... And you really never know what's going to happen. You really never know. That is one thing I have learned about covering the Sacramento Kings. Look, man, I know it would be nice to just be boring and be good. When we were joking with Thunder beat writer last week, hey, what do you guys talk about? Right? But because I don't even know what, there's no drama. They just rock and roll. The drama is, are they going to get to 70 wins? But I'll tell you what, if you're going to cover a team that isn't one of the best in the league, at least be fascinating. And the Kings are incredibly fascinating.
2 of the last 3 years have been 2 of the most insane seasons any NBA team has gone through. Between the Beam team and that being the breaking the longest playoff drought in NBA history and trying to take down the defending champion Warriors and crazy last-second wins and 176 to 175. Like, that season was like a dream.
Yeah.
And then last season, where it felt like it was 5 seasons mixed into one because just so much crazy you-know-what was happening. 2 of the last 3 seasons certainly have been interesting.
Yeah, and with that being said, they need to get back on track tonight. They have to get back on track tonight. Kyle, you have the updated injury report that you have put in here. Obviously, Keegan out. Domas questionable with ribs. Zach LaVine questionable with back soreness. Dylan Cardwell's on that G League assignment now that Precious Achiuwa is in town.
I don't know if Achiuwa's playing, though, today.
Brendan said he was available.
Okay, so there we go.
Yeah, Brendan said, I guess what you said, he's not on the injury report, so we think he's available.
Yeah, if he's officially on the team, then he should theoretically be available.
Steph Curry out. Jimmy is still questionable, even though Slater said he's most likely out. Draymond Green, questionable. He's created a rib contusion. Brandon Pajemski, oh no. Brandon Pajemski out with wrist soreness. Questionable with wrist soreness. DeAnthony Melton still out as he is trying to fix that torn ACL and continue to recover from that. So those are the names you need to know. And look, Kyle.
Oh, my God. If Pajemski's out, you got a starting lineup of Healed, Moody, and Kuminga?
If Domas doesn't go, this thing turns into a wash if Domas and Zach LaVine don't go, right? We can't go into it saying that the Kings should get it done. If it's just DeMar, Schroeder, I guess Precious. The only way Domas doesn't play is if Precious Achiuwa is playing, I would assume.
I mean, they brought back Maxime, so they could pull him off the bench. Eubanks starting again.
Westbrook.
Neek Clifford.
But you don't look at that. If Domas and Zach sit, this is no longer a take advantage of this opportunity, right? It's a, hey, you can win the game, but it's not a gift from the gods anymore. From the basketball gods, if Domas and Zach don't play.
Well,
right?
if Domas and Zach don't play, you'd be running out a lineup of Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Neek Clifford, and Drew Eubanks, with Malik and Keon coming off the bench. Still feel like that team can beat the Warriors.
No, that team should, but it wouldn't be a fumble. It wouldn't be a huge fumble if they didn't.
I wouldn't even say should. It's not like the Warriors don't have really good players. It's just
they're not playing tonight.
Well, they're taking away their 3 best ones. But you'd be taking away the Kings' 3 best players, being Keegan, Sabonis, and LaVine. So, well, I guess you said Westbrook's the second best player right now.
He is.
But like that would be an interesting game, right? I wouldn't know where to set the line on a game where you have, let's say Pajemski plays. Pajemski, Buddy, Moses Moody, Kuminga, and Al Horford against Schroeder, Westbrook, Neek Clifford, DeMar DeRozan, and Drew Eubanks. I wouldn't know where to set the line on that.
So the whole rivalry thing, they're not. Yeah, it's not. They stopped doing maybe for rival week or whatever. But yeah, this is not a national game. This is not. They stopped doing that. The Kings Warriors, that was hot for about 2 years. It was every time. It was popcorn, national TV.
Because they still have the all-time, or I shouldn't say all-time, the highest-rated first-round series since, like, 2002.
I'm sure one of them this season is national.
I'm sure at some point they're going to be a national.
Point. It's going to be NBA TV.
It's going to be on Peacock.
No.
By the way, just looking up the national TV schedule tonight, so not that we can watch it anyways because it's ESPN, but the national TV is Timberwolves at Knicks, and then San Antonio at the Lakers. Lakers with no LeBron, no Luka, and no Austin Reeves.
That's crazy. Again, just, hey, hold the line, people. YouTube and ESPN will figure it out. Hold the line.
I mean, it's the 2 best records in the West, not named the Thunder. 6-2 Lakers, 5-1 Spurs. How are the Lakers 6-2 with no LeBron and Luka's played in half the games?
Rui Hachimura. And I keep trying to tell you.
And 19 minutes from Bronny James.
Yeah. Rui Hachimura. That's what I keep trying to tell you, man. And the one dude, and I don't want to be disrespectful because I think his first name is Nick. Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah.
Nick Smith Jr.
I thought he was still on the Hornets.
He is.
But he's not. He's playing meaningful minutes for the Lakers, along with Dalton Connect and Jake LaRavia.
Yeah. This is a game, and since we're going to be joined by JD at 1:30, we're probably should we wait, Kyle, I guess, to see if anybody's out or not? I guess we can wait for Whitey to guess the spread.
I think they might be at the arena today, so it might be just you and I.
Okay, so we'll wait until the end of the show to guess the spread. 916-339-1140. Is it still a rivalry? Was it ever a rivalry between the Kings and the Warriors? As far as the matchups, that's the thing. We can't really do matchups as we want to do matchups because we don't know who's playing or not.
We know Draymond's not playing.
Yeah, we do know that.
Draymond's not even on the bus.
Yeah, we do know that. As far as Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine, of course, if they play, the matchups don't matter. You got to win the game. If they don't play, I'm looking at you, DeMar DeRozan, some younger defenders in there to get them up in the air. And, watch out for the Moses Moody and the Buddy Hields of the world. But I'm looking at you, DeMar DeRozan. I'm looking at you, Dennis Schroeder. And I'm looking at you, Malik Monk, to kind of take us home. You got to take us home.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to, right? That's kind of maybe it's Westbrook. I don't know. Every time there's a question with this, it's just, it's got to be Westbrook. Westbrook's leading the team in shooting. Westbrook's got the near triple-double against the Nuggets. It's probably Westbrook, but that's just because they're running the heliocentric Westbrook offense.
That is not what I had. Yeah, that is not what I had on my bingo card. But as soon as they signed Westbrook, we knew it wasn't going to be a Chris Paul situation. I continue to forget Chris Paul is even on the Clippers. He's just kind of there. I don't know how many minutes he's getting, but he's just kind of there at this point.
Well, sometimes to figure out who's playing, we can use the gauge of are they available on Prop Talk, and I see both Draymond and Jimmy numbers available, so I guess it's not ruling them out completely.
Not yet. We got a while, though.
Yeah, and I understand your point.
Yeah,
but
we got a while. Yeah. This is an opportunity for the Kings, and I do wonder if you're Domas, because we believe it's to be some bruising, and Zach with the back thing, I'm kind of iffy. I know Brendan said, hey, it's just back soreness, but I don't play with backs, man. I don't play with backs, and I guess I shouldn't play with ribs either, but I don't know. It just feels like a game where here's the thing. If you start Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine, I know no lead is safe, but if Draymond and Jimmy don't play along with Steph, you start Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine, you should take care of business, and you probably realistically shouldn't be playing the fourth quarter anyway.
Oh, here's the scary one, though. I just went to the Kings. They've pulled all the Kings props off off the Prop Talk.
See, I think the scary part is they might try to double up and say, hey, since the Warriors aren't playing their guys, let's give our guys a night off and flip a coin.
I think the LaVine one, it's the same injury he was listed for going into the Nuggets game. So I feel like LaVine has a pretty good chance of playing. They're just listing that he has an injury. Sabonis, I feel like a pretty good chance. I mean, again, I don't know for sure. I'm not a doctor, but Sabonis looked pretty roughed up, and it's a fresh injury, right? Mm-hmm. We know he injured himself in the Nuggets game. So I mean, if I'm looking at it, I feel like Sabonis has more of a chance to not play than Zach. Zach, I feel like, will play because it's the same injury as he was listed for the Nuggets.
So we have him flipped right now.
Yeah, that's kind of confusing, but yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see what the Kings do tonight. I think it's a huge opportunity for them, even if look, you need wins. So we can remove I want to play everybody at full strength. You can remove that. You can remove the pride, if you will. All you need right now is to win a basketball game. When you get an opportunity, you've already gotten to face. Let's add that to the list, Kyle. When you look at who the Kings have been and what they've done this season. Let's add that to the list. The season just started up. You had the Suns without Jalen Green. Who have they played full strength? You had the Suns without Jalen Green. You lost. You had the Jazz. I guess they were full strength. Somebody that I don't know might not have played for the Jazz, but they're the Jazz. You won. You had the Lakers, no Luka and LeBron. You got 50-piece. You lost. You had the Thunder with no Chet, and I know I feel better about it, but no Chet, no Jalen, no Isaiah Joe, who played really well against the Clippers. You lost. You lost to the Bulls. They were, full strength. No Kobe White, though. So
Sure.
No, yeah. Then they haven't had him all season.
And no Zach Collins.
Somehow you beat the Bucks with no Malik Monk, and they had Giannis.
Yeah, that one is weird.
So that makes no sense. And then you lose to the Nuggets. You didn't have Malik, but the Nuggets were pretty much full strength. So that one, off the top of my head, there was no big names.
No, the Nuggets had everyone.
So that one was just kind of a normal, hey, the Nuggets are just better than you right now. So you've had plenty of gifts. You didn't accept a gift from the Suns. You didn't accept a gift from the Lakers. You didn't accept a gift from the Thunder. And now you have an opportunity to accept a gift from your friends from the Bay Area, the Golden State Warriors. And you got to do it. You have to.
So our friend Anthony Slater actually updated his story on ESPN, which is Butler, despite having a tweaked lower back, is apparently pushing to play tonight.
Oh.
So they were trying to rule him out, and Jimmy is saying, hell no, I am playing.
You know why?
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
You know why?
I don't know why. Inform me.
Buddy Hield. His best friend. Jimmy probably talked to Buddy. Buddy said, I can't stand Sacramento. And Jimmy said, you know what? I got to get out there with my BFF, Buddy, and show Sacramento what's up. That's what happened.
Light the beam.
Yeah.
Light it.
I mean, look, Buddy can take care of himself, Jimmy. It's going to be okay. You can sit.
Yeah, Jimmy. Hey,
Jimmy.
Man, it's a long season, dude.
No, you're only going to play in 55 games. Are you sure you want to use this as one of them?
Yeah. So he really wants to play.
He's pushing to play, according to Anthony Slater, which is why Slater said last night Jimmy's not going to play. And then...
Yeah, he didn't even finish the game.
Yeah, the injury report came out, and Jimmy's questionable, and now Slater's saying, yeah, Jimmy is pushing to try and play tonight, even though the Warriors want to rule him out.
Well, if he does play, take his over.
What? You're taking every over, though. Jimmy's over on Jimmy assists. It's just going to be assists.
You got to be careful because he might leave the game again, but I would probably take his over. There's nobody to guard Jimmy. There's nobody.
I mean, Nick Clifford.
He's going to get to the line 8,000 times.
No, well, if his back is hurt, I think it's just going to be Jimmy assists because he's got to run the offense, right? Is it going to be Pajemski?
Yeah, this kind of throws a wrench into everything.
If Jimmy plays.
Don't play. We have it all panned out for Prop Talk. Do not play. Do not ruin this for us.
The 6-leg revenge parlay is in danger.
Jimmy.
Visions are clear now.
I got to send Schmalen's got to send his kids. He also has 2 daughters. Schmalen's got to send his kids to college.
Schmagent 1 and Schmagent 2.
Yeah, come on, Jimmy. Okay, well, thanks for that update, Kyle. Yeah, I don't know if I would feel better.
Draymond's still probably not playing. Steph's not playing. Draymond's not.
No, there's no reason for Draymond to play. He's not doing it.
Steph's not playing. No Draymond.
No. So the reality is the Kings aren't just going to get to roll the ball out, but they weren't going to get to roll the ball out even if Jimmy Butler didn't play. I think that these teams they thrive in these situations where they know that Vegas is not on their side, where they know that nobody expects them to do anything. There's a feeling of freedom, okay? There's a feeling of freedom when nobody expects you to do anything, right? And don't expect you to win, especially when that's in Sacramento, because you always kind of feel like the going is good. Kyle, one thing that I feel like we glossed over, and we have more on the Kings-Warriors game preview. We got John Dickinson coming up in about 50 minutes. Kyle, one thing that I feel like we glossed over was the idea. Now, yesterday, it's taken me a while to let it marinate. Yesterday, I said Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards. I think at first I said it can't work for certain reasons, but could actually work on the court. Kyle, that could definitely work, in my opinion. That would be the most exciting team we have seen. Because here's the thing. Thunder are very good. They're not exciting. Nuggets are very good. They're not exciting. That could be and stop me if I'm forgetting someone, the most exciting team since the KD Warriors.
You're talking about the
Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant. Exciting. I guess you could argue the Grizzlies. They were exciting.
The Grizzlies with Ja. I mean, it's the two exciting players from a few years ago. I'm trying to think. Who are the other high flyers? Like, besides Ant, Ja, Henry Turner, who are the other guys who are like, these are the highlight reel play? I guess it was De'Aaron Fox a little bit. Like, I'm trying to think, because if you're just saying we're putting 2 of the 5 flashy, high-flying dunkers on the
Giannis is
same
so
team.
funny because he dunks all the time, but because he's so big, it's not exciting when he dunks.
Yeah. You know what? This one's tough because they only got to play for so long, but should we count the Kyrie and Luka Mavericks? Like Kyrie Luka versus Ja Ant?
I guess, but
I feel
off
like
the top of my head, I mean, not to go Stephen A, but box office, I think it's nothing since either one of their teams. If we're excluding the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves, I don't know, man. I mean, it's been a while. When you talk about must-see, I mean the Warriors in general, but with Steph, but must-see TV.
Steve Nash and Chris Paul, must-see TV,
Yeah.
the famous. Also, yeah, we got to just...
When it breaks,
we have it first.
No, I don't
it's
like
Sactown
this.
Sports.
This is from our friend Mark J. Spears about 10 minutes ago. Kings update for Golden State. Zach LaVine, low back soreness out.
Told you. I told you.
Domantas Sabonis, left rib cage contusion out.
Oh, no.
Keegan Murray, left thumb UCL surgery out.
See, man, this is the type of stuff. They refuse to take the gifts.
And now
They
Jimmy's pushing to
refuse-
play.
And now Jimmy's going to play. This is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. Why?
Why? I mean, Levine is an interesting one because he just played with a back injury.
Well, he didn't look good, to be fair. He did not look good.
Is a good point. Sabonis, that one didn't really surprise me as much, but yeah, I guess so. We're Scott Moak is going to be introducing Schroeder
It's all
Westbrook.
cooked. It's all cooked. Absolutely fried.
So we got Schroeder, Westbrook, DeRozan.
I'm just waiting for the Jimmy Butler news.
Neat Clifford, Drew Eubanks. Precious Achiuwa from the couch to the starting lineup.
Yeah. Everybody, this is a one-way ticket from the couch to the starting lineup. Just join the Kings.
The Russell Westbrook to Precious Achiuwa lob from the couch to
It's gonna
start
feed families.
to Golden One Center.
Just lobbing nickels from the inside of their couches, man. Wow. Well, this completely changes everything. And 530 says, no way, this was about 15 minutes ago. No way Domas doesn't play. Well, must be. I mean, it looked bad, to be fair to Kyle. It looked bad. He was grabbing that thing the whole time.
Okay, this is pretty funny. I don't want to be rude, but the texter tweeted in, no way Domas doesn't play at 1:04 p.m. The Spears tweet came out at 1:05 p.m. Just impeccable timing by the texter.
It's their fault. Show yourself. You jinxed it. 530. You jinxed it.
So,
well, look. Now, when we go to guess the spread, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I got no idea what to do with this.
You got to give the edge.
No, to the Warriors, of course.
You're giving the edge to the Warriors.
But, like, I want to know what the line was this morning and what it is now. Because it's just like, at first we thought it was going to be no Warriors. Now it's no Kings. But Jimmy is trying to push to play. So now you might get Jimmy and Kuminga. So
which would mess up the Kuminga over. I mean, we had it all planned out. And now the whole thing is a complete mess. So we'll see about Jimmy. Obviously, things are going to sway into the direction of the Warriors if Jimmy does play. If he doesn't play, I think this is a very, very winnable game. I think it's winnable either way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Warriors, they haven't been world beaters as of late. They beat the Suns, but they had those 2 bad losses to the Pacers with 4 people, and to the Bucks with no Giannis. So they haven't been great. I think these are the games where, oddly enough, now can this happen to the Kings where you don't have your guys, you focus up, and this could be a really entertaining game. You could look at it like that.
Sure. I guess we could look at it like that.
I got no other way to look at it, Kyle.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird. I mean, the Warriors are clearly a better team than the Sacramento Kings. You know what I'm thinking now? Like we said at the start of the season when like Kevin Pelton picked him to be the 8 and we were talking about like positioning, we had said going in, if everything hits perfect, what is the ceiling for this team? And we were talking about 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed, whatever. Now, since the season has started, you've had now Zach LaVine miss time, Domantas Sabonis miss time with multiple different injuries because it was the hamstring before. Now it's the ribs. You've had Nick Clifford miss time. You've had Keegan Murray missing the entire season so far. Like, it's about as unlucky injury-wise as you could expect. Like, DeMar DeRozan never gets hurt, but it's about as unlucky injury-wise as you could have to start a season. Now, maybe they would have lost these games anyways because they're playing such difficult opponents, but if they come out of this stretch 4-14 before they get that next Suns game, I guess you look at it like, hey, you weathered catastrophic injuries in the hardest part of your schedule. I guess maybe that's the positive spin you could put on it.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say is as we read the other gifts, I mean, that's why it was so important to take care of business against these lesser opponents. That's why that Suns game was so important. I know the Bulls have been rolling, so we can eliminate the Bulls, but that's why that Laker game was a bad loss. And, you know, health is never going to be something that you can bank on. They haven't been healthy. They face other teams that haven't been healthy. Kyle, that's the only thing that's keeping, I think, this thing afloat is that nobody is really healthy right now. So you could win this game. You win this game and you stay on track, and then you happen to face the Timberwolves. Obviously, they have the Thunder after this game.
Thunder, Kempton Sawyer game, easy win.
Yes, right. And who knows who's going to play in that one. But then you could get the Timberwolves without Anthony Edwards. You've had opportunities. Everything has kind of been laid out for them to start the season well, unlike the Beam Team season. And I know it's a little bit different, but they took advantage of teams that were kind of down on their luck, and this team isn't taking advantage because they're also down on their luck. So, yeah, and how we evaluate Doug and how we evaluate, like we were talking about with Brendan Nunes, how we evaluate Doug, how we evaluate this team in general, it's just bizarre. It is bizarro world, and all I can say is Russell Westbrook's over has never looked better, never looked better. When we return, JD, John Dickinson, who covers the Warriors for KMBR, will join us to discuss why is this happening and who the heck is playing tonight and what do you expect? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents it's local but they're in L.A., red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
We've been on time, man. Look, I guess there's a competition starting. Our fearless leader, Jose, program director, told us that a competition is starting between the different shows. And I haven't done great at some of these competitions. I think one was getting the guests, and can't remember what the other competition was, but there are a couple different competitions.
There was the shout-out one that only the morning show participated in.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but I'll tell you this much. If there's one competition, now today with Brendan Nunez and the DeMontis Sabonis talk, I'm normally better. But today, maybe not the best day to highlight, but I hit my brakes, man. And in this business, that's a big deal. So this new contest that is going to be released soon about hitting your brakes, I think I should be the betting favorite. Now, I know Whitey Gleason is good at it too. But I'll tell you what, that morning show is cooked. They don't hit nobody's brakes.
Oh, heavy favorites we are here.
Yes. And that goes a long way with the boss man. So I hit my brakes. And I say that because we came back before 1:30, and John Dickinson is going to join us at 1:30. So I'm looking to get my first ring, my first championship ring with one of these radio internal competitions, because I'm 0 for 2. Now, the other two, clearly we were not, being the youngest show, we were not set up for success. But this one, we cannot fumble this bag.
No, one of the guest one, you can't beat the morning show.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They got...
You're not beating the morning show. You're not beating Jay.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. I forgot that the Jay is the booking aficionado, but the one that was like, oh, if you just cross promote a show, only the morning show did it. Because I remember I would come in and Dave would be like, oh, you can see this on the YouTube, and they would like play a little sounder that was like, ding, we got a point. I was like, no one else is participating. You guys are gonna win this one.
Yeah, this one to me, this is how you do your job. All right, and I'm not going down without a fight. The hope is that the Kings put up a fight tonight, and both sides will be shorthanded. We're just finding out that Zach LaVine and Domas are out. And to help us break it all down, we are joined by my guy, JD, John Dickinson, who covers all the Bay Area teams for KNBR on all the platforms. JD, thank you so much for joining us.
Alan, thanks for having me. Great to be with you. I hope I got this microphone plugged in correctly here for you, but it's good to be with you, my man. Always a pleasure.
No, you're solid. You're solid. Well, I had to have you on, JD. The last time we spoke, I know I'm from the Bay and we go back, but the Zach LaVine conversation, the empty calories. JD, the parades and the banners are up there. Can't be kicking us when we're down, man. We got too many issues. I can't worry about Zach LaVine's stat padding, JD. And did you see? I put a follow-up because the Kings against the Nuggets, they cut that lead to about 8 in a roughly the same amount of time. I'm telling you, JD, it was weird to me that they pulled out the Bulls that soon. You had 3 days off. They played on a Wednesday. It was Saturday. So you might be right with the stat padding, but JD, we got bigger fish to fry out here.
There are bigger fish to fry for sure, and LaVine has been one of the more productive players in the early part of the season for the Kings. But tonight is going to be a case of who's not playing for both of these teams. Apparently, the Kings with the counterattack to the Warriors having some guys out. Though Steph, the only official player that's listed out at this point, a bunch of questionables, which frankly surprised me to even see Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green be questionable with the injury report that was released here within the hour, along with Brandon Pajemski. But the Warriors hinted a lot before their game last night against the Suns, and Steve Kerr spoke to it specifically, the fact that we're already at the time of year, at least for the Warriors, where they have to start protecting some of their veteran players for the long haul, and they've had a couple of back-to-backs already to begin the season. This is the third set of back-to-backs for the Warriors with the game tonight in Sacramento, and then the game last night, they beat Phoenix at home. And so the long haul is as important as any individual game for the Warriors, with their goal to try and get themselves back to being a championship-level contender.
Talking to JD, John Dickinson, who covers the Warriors for KNBR. Yeah, and with that being said, JD, when I saw all of the Warriors fans and media complaining about the stretch, I think for you guys, it's the amount of games, because I don't know if you've seen the first 20 games for the Kings, but you have the Thunder 3 times, the Nuggets 3 times, and the Timberwolves 3 times. So I think for you guys, and what not the complaints, but just the, Adam Silver hates us and hates the Warriors. It was just the amount of games, because as far as who you're playing, I think the Kings, they got a really, really bad stretch here to kick off the season.
They did, without a doubt. And I think, and I've said this a lot on my shows. It's not, for the Warriors, it's not really opponent. And that's been true even in this early part of the season. The most concerning thing for the Warriors is back-to-backs and travel and 3 games in 4 nights and those things. Although I will say that the stretch is coming for the Warriors as well. After tonight in Sacramento, the Warriors, and they started last night a stretch of 10 of 12 away, but after tonight, they go to Denver for their next game. So they play at Denver on Friday. They have a home game against Indiana, and then they go out on a long road trip where they play Oklahoma City and San Antonio back-to-back. Then they play San Antonio again after that. So they play the Spurs twice in San Antonio. So the games are coming for them. They play the Rockets at the end of the month. They play the Thunder again at the early part of December, Cleveland a couple of times in the early part of December. So the games are coming, but no, the Warriors don't concern themselves with opponent as much as the layout of playing a lot of games in a short period of time. And I think that's where their complaint has been to begin the year, with a 3 and 4 nights right off the bat. They got drubbed in Portland in that game. I mean, Steve Kerr last night was saying, hey, maybe in hindsight, we should have rested everybody in that game. I mean, he's talking about a game from 10 days ago. And saying, maybe that would factor into a game like tonight, because here's the other part of the equation for the Warriors. The game on Friday in Denver is an Amazon Prime game. And as you know, the NBA has the officially unofficial rule of, when you're a star-laden team, you can't rest your stars in those games. So if the Warriors are going to do it, they wouldn't do it last night because they were coming off of 2 days off, and you can't do it against Denver because that's a nationally televised game. So you kind of have to do it if you're going to do it on a night like tonight when you're playing the Kings.
Talking to JD, John Dickinson, who covers the Warriors for KNBR. I want to ask this question, JD, but I want to take a step back as far as whether or not the Warriors are just, again, hoping for a top 6 seed. So before I can ask that question, we got to go back a couple months here. And I do believe that the Warriors organization truly think that if Steph doesn't go down, they win the whole thing. But I'm asking you, because we call them purple lenses out here, right? When you look at Keon Ellis and some of the players, we got some purple lenses, and every team does it with their players, especially the homegrown players. But blue, gold, yellow lenses out there in the Bay, I know what the organization thinks. Do you think they would have won the whole thing if not for Steph's hamstring?
No, I don't think. I think they would have had a hell of a chance to beat Minnesota, given the way that series started with the Warriors taking game 1 and Steph goes down in that game. They hang on and win the game, and they were competitive. Really, in one of the other 3 games, they were competitive without Steph Curry. I think it was game 3. They had a chance to maybe win, and Steph has said a couple of times, if you've been able to just win one, guys,
right.
I was coming back for game 6, and we'll see. I mean, even at that point, it would have been a 3-2 advantage in favor of Minnesota. So the Warriors would have had to have won a home game and then gone to Minnesota again, which they could have done. They won game 1 in that series. So I think they feel great about their chances to have won that series. I'll give them that one based on the fact that it looked like a favorable matchup in the first game. I do not think they would have had enough. I mean, even winning that series, you're halfway through at that point, having to, what you would have to do to win a title. Indiana, interestingly enough, has been a team that's kind of owned them over the years. They beat them last week with nobody playing, one of a couple of really bad losses. The Warriors played in Milwaukee before the Kings did and got beat by the Bucks without Giannis playing, and then the Kings go in there with Giannis playing, and the Bucks give up 1 million points to the Kings, and they end up winning that game. So I don't think the Warriors would have beaten OKC. I think if they had beaten OKC, it would have been difficult for them to beat Indiana, frankly, because it just would have been another gauntlet of a series from a physicality standpoint. And the one thing the Warriors know, Allen, from all of their runs toward winning NBA championships, the opposition would break down against them. Part of being a champion, and we saw this with the Thunder last year, is you physically break the opponent.
Yeah.
And the teams that are the great teams put that kind of pressure on you to stand up to the grind of a full 7-game series, to stand up to the grind of 4 rounds of it. And so I think the Warriors got beat last year in many ways, similarly to the way they beat teams in other years, where they would just apply so much pressure that physically the opposition couldn't hold up, and they wound up playing in a lot of those series where teams would be shorthanded against them. It's not something you ever like to think about in terms of a tactical advantage.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Thunder going on to win titles, and teams that win titles, typically they wind up with injuries working out in their favor, in part because they're so damn good, they force the opposition to physically break.
Yeah, and with that being said, getting to this season and just whether or not the Warriors are just trying to get in some capacity because of the idea that they were a hamstring away from winning the whole thing, at least in their minds. You see, I know DeAnthony Melton hasn't played yet. They've had some bad losses. They've already had some injury stuff, and they're just old. You're going to get DeAnthony Melton back. You get Al Horford. He's older, too. I don't know, JD. I spend a lot of time. I'm from the Bay. I spend a lot of time out there. I don't see the championship model this season either. You're going to sneak in as a 6 or a 5 or 6. They're not going to be a top 3 seed just based on health. I don't see it, JD. Do you think they see it? Do you think in their back pocket with the Kuminga thing, could there be a crazy trade late? I don't know. I just don't see this team rolling out and getting number 5.
Well, the question for them is, can they be good enough in the regular season while also manipulating everything to keep Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green healthy?
Yeah.
While winning enough in the regular season. And to this point, it's been week to week here in the first 2 weeks. The first week, they did a nice job of it. They win against the shorthanded Lakers team. They had a big overtime win against Denver, slipped up in that third game in 4 nights, like we talked about in Portland. Portland kind of ran them out of the building up in Portland, which can happen. They've got a pretty solid young team in Portland. So that was kind of a schedule loss. And then they bounced back and they're able to beat Memphis and beat the Clippers. So they're 4-1. And then through that first week, they go on this road trip to Milwaukee and Indiana, and they just can't stay motivated enough. Those were 2 games where they had all their guys with the exception of Melton. They're playing against the Pacers without Halliburton and others. They're playing against the Bucks without Giannis. And, they just can't. And it starts with the veteran guys. They just, I think, are so used to being able through the years, Steph and Draymond, to pick instances in games where they can coast and still have enough to win with a great quarter or win with a great run. And I think what they found is sometimes when they go to dial up that big run, it's just not there. They can't get to it. And then the other thing that happens too is I think there are situations where they let their foot off the gas even a little bit. And teams they just keep coming. The nature of the league now with 3-point shooting and comebacks. And so they've let some leads slip away in games that they never would let slip away in the past. So that's been the first week. It was so far so good. But here, after those 2 losses to Milwaukee and to Indiana, it's looked more like what the concerning view of this season can be for them, which is, can you win those games that you're supposed to win while also keeping everybody fresh? And they don't do that. They have to have Steph play 34 minutes last night while he's sick because the Suns came back from 25 down to cut it to 8 late, so they couldn't put them away. And now it impacts the game tonight because Steph's not going to play. Others potentially might not play. And look, I mean, the Kings are going to have guys out too. So it is kind of a 50-50 game, I think, both ways as it relates to tonight. But, so far, I think they like their team when their team is fully healthy. They know they have the potential Kuminga move in their back pocket to trade him for someone that can sort of be the final piece. I still think, and look, Kuminga's been really good to begin the season. He's been a completely different looking player for the Warriors, intent on rebounding, intent on passing, intent on doing the little things. Like, it is not the Jonathan Kuminga that the Warriors have had the last 4 years. Does that keep up and make them less wanting to trade him? I think that's possible, but their best path toward getting the roster where it needs to be for a title might still be to trade him. So it's quite the conundrum. That being said, Allen, I don't think the Kings are going to see the Kuminga that everybody else has seen for the first 2 weeks of the year. I think they're going to see tonight probably more of the Minnesota playoff series Kuminga if some of these other guys are not playing.
Yes, I think it will be an unleash type of game, and it will be you should have taken off those protection on the picks for me. I know it wasn't that simple, and JD, we had some great conversations about it, as we always do. Thank you so much for the time, JD. I know you got to get on up here. You won't see me this time, but we got to catch up and have some good conversations, as we always do. Be sure to follow JD John Dickinson soon.
Thanks, Allen.
When we return, Prop Talk Dog segment and Guess the Spread. Your guess is as good as mine. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime. And a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't. And leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 40% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, label stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In store and online expires 11/15. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Great stuff from John Dickinson, and Kyle is joking because we did go over. Yeah. Today was not a good reflection of how we normally hit our breaks.
Allen, but it was the segment right before. You were like, oh, I always hit my breaks. And then we went 4 minutes over.
But I normally do.
No, you do.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the difference. Dave will miss breaks without knowing. I knowingly miss a break. If I know, because JD said, like I said, he's running around. He could only do 130. So I went into that segment thinking, hey, we might have to go long here. I'm not missing breaks on accident. They're calculated risks. That's different.
This was the universe humbling you, Allen.
No, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
the Brendan thing went long. The Brendan segment went long. But JD, I knew what I was doing.
You and I were making eye contact throughout that segment.
No.
And you we see the clock.
No.
We see the clock.
Yeah, but I had to ask him about Kuminga.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying you got humbled by bragging at the start of the segment about how you hit every break.
No, I do hit every break. I hit every break when I want to. When I want to hit the brakes.
Unlike that schmuck Whitey that you were talking mess about earlier.
No, I don't know. I think Whitey hits the brakes. Dave is the only one I know just refuses. there are no breaks.
There's no breaks.
There's no breaks, okay?
Well, now we've got 4 minutes and 5 different segments to do.
And I'm going to hit this break.
All right.
Where are we starting?
Well, let's start with running the tankathon because we still haven't done that today.
Okay. It didn't move. 6.
All right. Well, that's we used to be at 9, so I guess that's an improvement,
now
right?
I'm running it again.
Well, we didn't do one yesterday, so.
That's right. Come on. Come on. With the 3rd pick in the NBA draft, Kings get number 3.
Well, you said it's Debanza now, since Debanza can't shoot free throws.
Since he went 2 for 7 from the free throw line, now he's dropped. This is going to be an incredible college basketball season.
I was reading some story this morning that like Boozer had 0 points in the first half, and then Shire told him he was soft at halftime, and he put up 15 and 13 in the second half.
Oh, this is going to be great. I just love it. Here's the thing, though. I was going to say, I know we don't have a lot of time, so we'll talk about it more tomorrow. But the uncomfortable truth is one of those 3 players is not going to be good, right? Or maybe is not going to be a star. There will be one guy where it says, man, you guys picked the one. Like in Price is Right, where you pick or one of those game shows where you pick the wrong thing. You pick the zoink or whatever it's called. One of them going to be the zoink.
I think as long as none of them are worse than Keegan Murray, it's going to be a successful pick.
Okay. We shall see. All right, Kyle, what's next?
We got to guess the spread on this abomination of a game that we don't know who's playing in, but Jimmy's trying to play now.
209 is calling out White. He says, the drive guys are late going to breaks kind of often. Yeah, we're number 1. We're number 1, just not today. But we're number 1. We're the betting favorite.
We're heavy favorites, I'd say we are.
Okay, I think they still believe Jimmy is going to play.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to update. Is it going to be different an hour from now? Let's just go with the current spread on ESPN.com. What does it say?
I'm going to say 2.5 Warriors.
Yeah, I'll say 3.5 Warriors. Maybe it hasn't updated the injuries yet. Let's pull it up here. Kings 2.5.
Interesting.
I'm so curious where it opened at. It opened at Kings 4.5.
Interesting.
And now it's 2.5. So but it's too short of a time. Like now that we know Levine and Sabonis are out, it probably hasn't adjusted yet.
All right, what's next? Go.
All right, next up, Prop Talk. Which is also an abomination because we just found out Levine and Sabonis are out.
All right. Prop Talk today.
I'll go with mine first because we can only pick from 4 different players. Dennis Schroeder, 15.5 points. He's 23 and 18 in the last 2 games. I am in on Dennis Schroeder, 15.5 points. Take the over.
They got Kuminga at 23.5. I think that's easy money, but we're not talking about the Warriors. Westbrook, 18 points. All right, man. At some point, he ain't going to get there.
Hey, we talked about it earlier. Are you sticking to your guns, the 6-leg revenge parlay?
At some point, he ain't going to get there. I don't know if Westbrook's going to get there. I'm going to go with Malik Monk, 15.5 points.
The revenge game.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan hasn't been getting there. He's probably due because he was at 21 with Levine, so no Levine. You would think he would get there, but I'm going to go Malik Monk.
All right, I like it. This is part of your 6-leg revenge parlay.
That's right.
Right.
All right, time for dogs.
Who let the dogs out?
I have not been kind to this man, and he has been playing better than expected. At times, his assist numbers have been better. I'm going to say Dennis Schroeder. I mean, I'm telling you, Kyle, I got friends. They call him a bum. Like, he was not good with the Warriors. And they said the lights were too bright. He got laughed out of the building in Golden State. And I think Dennis Schroeder going to have some things to prove. I got Dennis Schroeder.
I like it. With Sabonis out and Keegan out and Levine out, we need any kind of beef we can get.
We have
just anyone. And I'm not going to pick Precious Achiuwa because I refuse on principle to pick him as the dog off the couch. So the only one we have, Drew, just take the shot, man.
My 8th year in the league. Like, at some point, you got to just take the shot.
Just go for it, man.
He should be able to cook who? Quentin Post?
Horford? I mean, we just need anything. Any beef tonight. I can't pick Maxime. I don't know if they're going to play him. Cardwell's inactive. So what the heck? Just Drew Eubanks, we need some beef.
There you go. Thank you for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. Great job, Kyle, as always. Thank you to the callers, texters, sack chatters, for Brendan Nunez, for John Dickinson. I'm Allen Stiles. Until tomorrow, let's get the bag like the bean.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent